And we are live. Hey, everybody, this is Roberto Blake. Hope you create something awesome today. Welcome back to the live stream, and welcome back to everybody who's watching the replay of this live stream. It's another Monetization Monday, so we're talking about the money side of YouTube. We're talking about being a successful full-time content creator, and we're going to break down a lot of the things that I feel that you need in order to become that successful full-time content creator. So we have a lot of ground to cover. And I think that one of the most important things I want to talk about is building that audience avatar. And then from there, how you build out your content strategy. And this is what's going to inform your titles, topics, thumbnails, understanding timing, how to follow trends properly. I'm also going to briefly, before we dive too much into the audience avatar thing, I think what I'm going to cover initially is I'm going to cover really what I feel is about best and worst advice for content creators who are trying to grow, especially small YouTubers. So I think first I will start a segment on what I think is some of the best and worst advice. At some point later, I'm going to make a regular edited YouTube video about that. I mean, eventually I'm going to want to cover those things anyway as I get back into the saddle of editing versus live streaming. But with Monetization Monday, this all comes into play for the fact that how do you properly monetize an audience and grow a successful channel that's making a full-time income? For the sake of argument, we're going to just say a full-time income is $100,000 a year, even though it could certainly be less. We should be able to cover most people if we're optimizing with that as a long-term goal. Now, we're not going to get to that long-term goal overnight or even in our first year as a content creator. That would be extremely rare. That's an outlier thing. Almost nobody does that. So we're not really going to concentrate and worry about that. But to give perspective here, as we jump immediately into the live stream, I'm going to just show you the lifetime stats and ad revenue for this channel to kind of make my point more visible for the far majority of you. Because if you can see it, then you can believe it. And see, so seeing is believing, or believing is seeing. So if you see it, you can believe in it. And if you believe in it then and see it, then you can achieve it and make it real to you. So understanding that, I want to show you some data that will kind of help back up some of what I'm saying. Now, this is just ad revenue. None of this accounts really for sponsored revenue. None of this accounts for my own product sales lifetime. None of this accounts for lifetime affiliate revenue. I don't mind sharing some of that with you here to give you a better understanding, because that's also relevant. So what I'll show here is I'll bring up another panel. I'll bring up my Kajabi panel, and this is in real time. No, I'm not modifying this in any way. This is all in real time. If we go click on the dashboard and then we click sales, you can see that this is in real time. So no one can whine and go, oh, this is fake, or how do I know this is real, and everything like a freaking chump. It's like, no, everything here is legit. None of it is overnight. This is lifetime. So if we just use the sales from Awesome Creator Academy and the YouTube channel revenue, and then we look at that as my lifetime as a creator, we're not counting all the brand deals. We're not counting the sponsors. We're not counting the affiliate income. We're not even looking at the speaking engagements. We're not even looking at any of that. We're looking at $1 million in revenue over the lifespan of roughly a 10-year or so career from the ad revenue and the sales revenue, not counting the affiliate revenue and not counting the sponsors. So out of all of my main sources of income, that's how you can basically get to it. And you can go, okay, I understand now. And then when you look at the fact that I started taking content creation seriously, making weekly videos in 2013, and that I wasn't doing anything to have an audience. I had like 20 videos on the platform over 4 years before that. I had no real content, no audience. I didn't start trying to do anything with an audience until summer of 2013. And so now we're in the spring, or approaching the summer of 2024. So, there you go. That, and again, that's not counting my true lifetime revenue. If we add in sponsors and affiliate, it's probably like 2.5 million if we count everything. No, I don't get to keep most of that. Life cost money over the course of a decade, and the IRS is a thing. So, you know, buying a house isn't cheap either. So neither is buying all this equipment. Neither is the payroll for my team of 3. And they don't really do much with the content creation. They help with the back end of the business. So if we look at lifetime here, and we just add up these two things, you can see how this makes a successful YouTube channel. I also only started Awesome Creator Academy in, I think it was late 2017, early 2018 when I built the site. So that's only been around for about 6 years. So 6 years, 628,000 in income, about $100,000 a year lifetime. So if I measure, actually, wait, it won't let me measure lifetime in the Kajabi interface. I wish they would change that in the analytics, because then I could show you just year over year lifetime, but it doesn't let me do that. But yeah, you know, so I mean, it's a solid business overall. But if I do go by year, I guess if I go over year, it'll show you that it's like 100,000 a year or something like that. And then we go by month. Yeah. Oh yeah. So June's a new month, so that would count later to being over 100,000. But you kind of get the point. So you get the point here. And when I talk about building a successful channel, it's really that you want to be a successful full-time creator beyond YouTube. And now, especially with certain issues on YouTube, you absolutely want to be diversifying across platforms. So with that in mind, real quick, shout out to our friends at Streamyard. Shout out to all of our sponsors, but big shout out to our friends at Streamyard for helping us be multi-platform in the live streaming, which is why we're on youtube.com, facebook.com, x.com, formerly Twitter, kick.com, twitch.com, and linkedin.com all at once on the live stream. So shout out to them. Link is in the description down below. Make sure you're getting a free trial of Streamyard and signing up. Also, shout out to our friends at OpusClip, who are helping us clip and curate the live streams into smaller chunks, post those across all social media. And then, of course, thank you to Kajabi for allowing us to have my own platform, my own membership, my own membership website, my own products and my own sales and my own customers and all those great things. So link to that is in the description down below. Thank you to all of the sponsors. And so with that housekeeping there set up, you kind of see the point. Having sponsors is a big help for a lot of these things. Being platform agnostic definitely helps with getting your email list going, getting sales, getting all these things. A lot of you's problem is that your goal is to be a big YouTuber instead of to be a successful creator that makes 100,000 a year from all of their different income streams. Even with sponsors, there's a lot of things you can do. A primary example is you could do UGC content. You could do content for sponsors on their platforms on social media. Instead of worrying about the reach and size of your own audience, you make content on their platforms that reinforces their brand. That gives you an income stream regardless of how your own content is performing. If you get your own customers, you have an income stream, and your content, regardless of what platform it is, becomes a means to getting more customers instead of worrying about getting more ad revenue. Then you're not worried about things like the invalid traffic issue on YouTube that can drastically hurt your ad revenue and your RPMs. So, you know, the invalid traffic issue, as much as it sucks, mostly sucks if your primary focus is over relying on ad revenue throughout your channel instead of using your channel as a stepping stone to bigger and better things for you. So, you know, in the advanced mode of YouTube here, one of the things, and again, I went over a live stream where I actually told you how to monetize basically every major niche in YouTube. I told you how to monetize basically every major niche in YouTube. And so that would significantly help with building a business plan to where your channel isn't entirely beholden to whatever happens to be going on with YouTube itself. if you end up in a situation where certain videos that you would like to make that your audience really cares about, maybe some of those aren't, playing so nice with the monetization policies. Maybe some of that is not working out for you because of the invalid traffic issue. And while I think it's important for YouTube to resolve those issues and also to be as transparent as possible, the thing is, relying on it can just be a problem in and of itself. Relying on it could be a problem in and of itself. And so rather than rely on something that you don't have control over, what about doing things to exercise more control, like selling something directly to your audience? Now, what you are going to see here is lifetime average RPMs on my channel over time. And the way that you get to this data, if you're looking for this data yourselves, if you're looking for this data yourselves, then what you do is you go and you create, you go and you get to the date range, and you go to views by date. You can set up a time period and you can make that lifetime if you want. Then you add a secondary metric, and then it's RPM. And then this gives you RPM by date. And so then you can sort it however you like. So you could go with yearlies if you want to make that more clear, or you can go with monthlies if you want to make that more clear. Now, again, once you do that, you probably will have to reselect something like RPM again and see if it can give you that data breakdown, because sometimes the analytics is a little wonky. There you go. So here, I can basically track what my RPM averages are. And in this case, I am getting yearly averages based on whatever year it was. So over time, that's what that would look like. For a lot of you in entertainment-based niches, you are not going to see RPMs over $10 like this. So do be aware of that. Let's see what would happen if we did monthlies. And so one of the things you can do, and one of the things a lot of you should be doing, is, like I said, you should look into sponsorships, because most people understand sponsorships are going to be the path besides ad revenue that probably earns them the most. However, the mistake a lot of you making is waiting for brands to reach out to you. You're waiting for brands to reach out to you. And so I believe personally that in waiting for brands to reach out to you, it's actually a pretty big mistake, because I genuinely think that what you should be doing is, one, I think you should be doing the outreach, but more importantly, I feel like more of you should be researching these brands, choosing who you want to work with. But I also think that beyond choosing who you want to work with these brands, you should be really thinking about the type of relationship you want to have with the brands. And you should be looking at how you can price yourself based on those relationships. And that's why more of you should look into being UGC, user-generated content creators. You should be looking a lot more at something like UGC. Let's see. Estimated monetized playbacks, estimated revenue is what I'm looking for. Yeah. You could also, by the way, another filter that you guys could be using is you could look at content type. Oh, it won't give me that data? Bloody hell. Well, actually, there's another way for me to get that, but I'll show you guys that later. I was going to try and get the estimated revenue by content type, but instead, I'm going to go with the RPM, not on content type. Sorry, give me 1 minute. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the RPMs on different types of content. to make a point that not all content is equal, and that different types of content earn different types of revenue. You should consider that in your strategy long term, but you should also be thinking about your diversification strategy and what content is better monetized by ad revenue, which content is better monetized and fits sponsor goals, which content would be better for affiliate links that can make you money, which content is better for selling your own products, which content formats would be better for helping you grow your email list, which content formats will help you get other opportunities or attract brands, because not everything is about, oh, I got a brand deal in this video. It's sometimes you're making a video that you can use that will help you attract the brands you want or help you close the brands when you approach them. So a lot of you are doing brand deals wrong, which is the title of an upcoming video of mine. So a lot of you need to be looking at brand deals differently. I can dive into this a little bit, because I do see some questions in the chat about this. So when it comes to brand deals, reach out to them via email professionally. Reach out to them via email professionally in most cases. I think that you can go into DMs if you've been interacting with the brand previously and you've gotten them to at least acknowledge you before. If you guys have acknowledged each other before, then a DM might be fine. But for the most part, for most of you, it's going to be a warm or cold email. And you want to do that more professionally. And you can get their email, the right email, by either looking on their website or looking on LinkedIn. So that's one of the things you would do. Let's see. The Cookie Couture says, hey, Robert, is it possible to successfully grow organically? I have several years on YouTube. I've been growing, but slowly still growing. That is what keeps me creating. I grow organically. I don't grow via ads. And it's not because of promoting in my other platforms. For one thing, a lot of people disagree with me on this. Aside from people blowing up and getting viral or famous on some other platform, I don't believe in using your other platforms to grow your YouTube channel for the most part. I actually don't believe in it. I believe that you grow each platform more or less organically, because my philosophy is I don't believe in using social media to grow other social media. I think it's a waste of effort to use social media to grow other social media. If I can take traffic from LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook to anywhere, I don't need to take it to my YouTube channel. I want to take it to my own bloody website. I want to take it to my own email list. I want to take it to an affiliate link. I want to take it to a product. Why on earth would I bother, after winning attention on Twitter or Instagram, use that and redirect someone to youtube.com who infinitely benefits much more than I do? Think about it like this. If you take somebody off of social media to youtube.com, one, I've shown you the data. You're getting a penny. If you have a $10 CPM, you're getting a penny per view by taking that traffic off of a social media website to YouTube. Why on God's green earth would you do that? If you have merchandise, take them to your online store and sell them your bloody t-shirt, hat, hoodie, or print-on-demand products. You have a book, take them to Amazon and sell them your book, and use an Amazon affiliate link so you get a commission for every blessed item they put in your cart. If they buy anything at all, even if it's somebody else's book from Amazon, at least you'd be getting 50 cents from that one person. If you bring them to YouTube, you get a bloody penny if you're lucky. 1/10 of a penny is more normal. So it's completely frivolous and worthless to either fight for a fraction of a penny per view or a half a penny per view. I would never take my precious traffic, for the most part. Sometimes I'll do it. For the most part, there's no reason to take my precious traffic that I fought for the attention of and take it to youtube.com when I have it on another platform. I'm better served bringing that to my bloody email list and then having people potentially buy something. I'm better taking them to my online store. I'm better taking them to my merchandise. I'm better taking them to my book and getting a book sale. I'm better taking them to an Amazon link. And if they buy camera gear, I get a $50 commission. If they buy someone else's book, I at least get 50 cents. 50 cents is better than a tenth of a penny. YouTube is going to pay you a tenth of a penny per view. Why on earth would you do that? Because here's the truth. They're going to go on youtube.com. They're going to watch one video from you, maybe two. Congratulations. You earned 2 cents. Now, here's the thing about YouTube. YouTube's going to keep that viewer, and YouTube is going to earn multiple pennies, nickels, dimes, because that viewer's going to watch multiple videos that don't belong to you. YouTube's going to make $1 off of that person before the end of the day. Before the end of the day, YouTube's going to make $1 off of that person. Maybe a couple of bucks, because maybe they're going to end up in a live stream and super chatting someone. You're going to make a penny for that viewer if you're lucky, maybe 2 pennies. That's the most you can look forward to, unless they're in your live stream and they're donating and super chatting, or unless you get a super thanks, or unless they buy something with the YouTube shopping affiliate tag. So think about it. YouTube is always going to profit 10x, 100x, 1,000x more off of every viewer you bring them than you are. So your answer is this. Your answer is that you don't take people to youtube.com. Now, again, if your only goal and aspiration in life is that you want one of the silver play button awards behind me up on the bookcase, like if I were to change the depth of field on my camera, you can kind of see them back there in the background. But, or actually, instead of worrying about the abstract of that, we'll just do it for real. Because I got some copies for the office downstairs and for the library. I'm also collecting play buttons from my clients, so they'll all be going on that bookcase as well, plus down to the studio in the basement. And then when we run out of room right down there, I'll figure it out. But yeah, you want to get one of these silver play buttons. If that's your only goal in life, then by all means, keep people on YouTube. Do everything to direct people to YouTube if that's your goal. But if you want to earn a full-time income, I highly recommend that your goal is not to get as many people on youtube.com as possible. Your goal is, if anything, whenever you're on a platform, to get them to your own email list where you control the relationship and access to the audience, and an algorithm doesn't. That's your goal. It's a means to an end. By the way, if you haven't joined my newsletter and gotten our free 12-week creator guide, it's linked in the description. I'm going to drop it here in the chat for the rest of you. So I'm going to drop the 12-week creator playbook into the chat across all 6 of the platforms we're streaming to, which makes my point. So you can get your free 12-week creator playbook. And so for the 400 of you watching across 6 platforms, there's the link. We hope to see you in the email newsletter, and you'll get a lot of your free bonuses and all of the cool stuff. So make sure you're checking out the creator playbook. And if you're watching the replay on YouTube, it's linked in the description down below. Probably going to be put in the info card here too. And so that's kind of my point. My point is, if you wanted to make a significant income, the YouTube ad revenue, if you look at all the years that I've been on YouTube and my lifetime earnings, which are, yeah, it's significant. I'm not turning my nose up at it. It's a significant amount of income, but let's think about it. Over the course of 10 years, that's like $30-something thousand a year. You can get that from minimum wage 40-hour-a-week jobs. Are those jobs as enjoyable? Well, no. But let's also look at the fact that I've done 1,600 videos on this platform, and let's think about all the hours that took. So the thing is, I don't know what kind of breakdown it would be. I think I can technically manage the math here. So let's say it's 320,000 divided by 1,600 videos. That means on average, I made on average $200 for every video I've ever made on YouTube. Now, depending on how you value your time, $200 for every video on YouTube is not god awful. However, depending on how you value your time, that's breaking even on just your time only on your time labor value. And the thing is, we're still kind of behind the curve and 8-ball on that, because it's money that YouTube split with us. So YouTube also made money on there. So that wasn't the full market value of what we created. And then on top of that, this is before taxes. So that's not exactly, you know, appropriate compensation, let's say, by itself. Effort to value ratio, it's not perfect. It's not ideal. By comparison, 6 years doing my own online business, 6 years, 100,000 a year, that's a little bit more appropriate. So my own endeavor directly, because I used YouTube as a catalyst, did much better for me in terms of direct sales. By the way, that's without me selling a $500 course. That's me selling one-on-one coaching, membership community, which is me selling time, if you really think about it, the access to me and the time, and some $99 digital product downloads that have a less than 1% refund rate. So it's all value creation. All value creation. The YouTube starter kit did about 100,000 of the $600,000 in sales. I think all the other digital products are close to around that when you add them together. And most of the value was driven by membership, which people, they stick with it if they like it, and one-on-one coaching. And people have been satisfied by that if you look at the Trustpilot reviews. So if I do online $500 courses, that number probably doubles or triples at that point. So I digress. That's not for everybody. For entertainers, the scale of that would probably be print-on-demand products, merchandise, if they build a solid brand, and memberships and donations if they're a live streamer, particularly if they might be gaming, esports. It'll be streaming that makes them that kind of money. And then they might be able to do sponsorships and brand deals. They might be able to work in an esports org and get a salary as a pro player. So there's a lot of opportunities to monetize. And I covered a video that you can check out. It's one of our previous live streams. If you go to the live tab on YouTube, it's one of our previous live streams where I actually talked about how to diversify your income in every single niche in YouTube. So I covered the major niches, including gaming, for everybody asking about it. I covered how to diversify and build your business model. And so there's a lot of things you can do. It's not always that people will be educators selling online courses. For a lot of you, it'll be that you're tech or beauty creators, and that means that you should be doing the Amazon influencer program, YouTube shopping with shopping tags, and you should probably also be doing the Amazon Creator Hub and then making direct product reviews in Amazon and getting commissions for that, and also using their live streaming platform, which basically is QVC at this point. And that's a whole opportunity and a whole nother platform. And creators in the product categories that do well there, they could be a smaller content creator and be making $50,000 to $100,000 a year in Amazon commissions. I've seen it for tech creators. And I've seen it for beauty and lifestyle creators. But it's not just YouTube. It's that they're promoting those Amazon influencer links in all of their platforms, and that they've made specialty curated lists in their Instagram highlights, and they post their Instagram stories whenever they have a new product, and then they link out to Amazon and people buy it and they load up their cart with other stuff and they get these affiliate commissions from Amazon. So I'm not playing. This is like really good opportunities here, but people pass over dollars to pick up pennies because they're concerned about their views and their subscribers. So Lois Lenora, $5 super chat, has a question. So Lois has a question, asks, question, Roberto, do you think it would put you at a disadvantage during negotiations if you're the one contacting the company? So basically this question is, should you have a manager or should you have an assistant reach out? I actually disagree with the idea that puts you at a disadvantage in negotiations if you reach out to the brand. I've had companies like Space Station Gaming, which is owned by my friend Sean McBride. You guys know him as Sean Duras. He co-owns Vid Summit with Daryl Eves and Mr. Beast. Sean Duras, his company Space Station, has brought me brand deals. I think they brought me 20 or 30,000 in brand deals before. Overall, I think we've done 30. Maybe it's close to. So no, I'm underplaying it. It's actually closer, probably $30,000 to $40,000 in brand deals they brought me. So I've worked with a couple of companies because of them, and that can be good. I find that when I negotiate my own brand deals, I end up just doing a better job of it. But I have a background in sales, marketing, and advertising. I know the lingo. I know how to pitch myself. I have a media kit. Those are all things that give me an advantage. You set yourself up to have an advantage. Now, if you don't think you're a salesperson, if you don't think you're a closer, if you don't think you're the best person to represent you, then that's why you might need help. But if you have the contacts, which you can get from their website or from LinkedIn, with reaching out for a brand, you reach out yourself, you get that email, you use the email, you get them on a call. This is something I teach in the Brand Deal Starter Kit. Brand Deal Starter Kit's not a course, but it's a resource for people who are trying to do brand deals. It should be linked in the description down below. If I don't have it in the description here on YouTube, then what I will do is I will drop a link in the live chat, and then we'll add it to the description for you guys. But you should definitely check out the Brand Deal Starter Kit. I also have some stuff that we're looking to add to it. So it's a product, even though it's a $99 product, we update my products every year. And so Brand Deal Starter Kit. Yeah, so we'll link that for you guys. Check that at awesomecreatoracademy.com. And so the thing that I always talk about is get them on a video or phone call. You can negotiate better when you're doing it as close to in-person as possible versus trying to do it over email. All negotiations via email will get you your worst price. And if you are like, I don't know what to charge, I'm going to tell you guys a secret for free. I usually tell my paying clients this. I'm going to tell you a secret for free. If you don't know what to charge and you're insecure and you're worried about it, just ask them what their budget is. Just ask the brand, what is the budget? I want to work with you. I want to make this relationship work. What's the budget that you have in mind? What do you usually do with creators like me? Then when they tell you the budget, you renegotiate the boundaries of what you're willing to provide in exchange for that budget. You also can move the needle and say, I was thinking of this price. What deliverables would I have to give you to get to this price? And then they will tell you. It is that simple. You're making it more complicated than it is. Stop waiting for brands to reach out to you. This is going to be in the You're Doing Brand Deals Wrong video. It's a 20-minute video. It's coming out probably next week. Probably next week, if not later this week. If not, if the video doesn't come out Thursday or Saturday, it'll come out next week sometime while I'm traveling. So for the You're Doing Brand Deals Wrong video, what it is very simple. One, you're doing brand deals wrong because you're waiting for brands to reach out to you. You're waiting to get noticed. And that's probably going to get you scammed because it's probably not going to be legit companies reaching out most of the time, sight unseen. And you probably don't really want to rep brands you're not already using and that you haven't heard of. If you haven't heard this brand and you're not using them, that's going to make it really hard to sell and pitch and advocate that to your audience. You might notice the brands that I work with, I actually use them. You actually see them used in my workflow as a creator. Streamyard's a sponsor. I'm using them right now. OpusClip is a sponsor. You've seen me use it reposting the clips to x.com. You've seen it in my Instagram. You've seen it in my LinkedIn. You've seen me actually repurpose my clips. So I'm actually using it. Kajabi, we literally just put it up on the screen that's where I've made over $600,000 of my money selling my coaching. So we know I use the product. So you want to look at, here are the brands that I actually use, that I like, that I care about, that have the same audience as me and have a good reputation. Great. Reach out to them. You forget the email address from their bloody website. Reach out to them. Stop waiting to be noticed. Reach out to brands that you actually can do authentic advocacy for. Then you reach out to them via email, be professional, get them on a call, build rapport. Then, if you don't know what to charge, Ask for the budget. If you don't like the budget, ask what deliverables you have to offer to get to the price that you like. Then that's the negotiation. You work out the terms. You work out things like exclusivity or licensing to get to the price that you want. You sweeten the deal. This is why I teach people, especially one-on-one, and we talk about their brand strategy and relationships. You figure out a compelling offer. I offer a lot of things in my media kit, a lot of things that other creators don't offer. I have a 13,000 and growing email list that you should all sign up for. Link in the description. See what I did there? And the email list is another value add to brands that makes me stand out versus a lot of other people. Not a lot of people have a 13,000 plus email list. Not a lot of people get 40, 50, and 60% open rates on their emails. Not a lot of people have great onboarding. So those things all would sweeten the pots for brands. Not everybody is willing to go to the in-person event activation for a brand or make the presentation on stage representing the brand as an ambassador and an advocate and do in-person appearances for the brand's events. That's another negotiating point people don't think about. There's more to offer than shout outs in a video. UGC content, user-generated content. So the thing is, yeah, you get them on the call, you get them on the phone or on a video call, and you make a compelling offer. And a lot of you have no idea what your compelling offer is because you're so limited in scope that all you think about is shouting out brands in YouTube videos. And again, this isn't to dunk on any of you. It's literally to tell you that you're doing it wrong. And here's why you're being underpriced. Here's why you're missing opportunities. Here's where you're passing over dollars and picking over pennies. And that's how it is. And that's why if you don't feel like you just got value, then okay, you don't have to necessarily, and I'm not saying you have to work with me, but I'm making a point here. The reason that people work with me is simply because I am very good at diagnosing what they're doing wrong and helping build a process and a system that says, let's correct what you're doing. And the thing is, there are specifics for every single creator. I'm giving you the general outline. If you're a gaming creator, a lot of this changes in some nuance of what you can do because there might be things you do that might be in-game activations. There might be creator code stuff. There might be esports stuff. There's any number of levers that could be negotiated differently if you're in the gaming niche. It's different if you're in the lifestyle niche because there might be a representation angle that has to be taken into consideration. There might be some evaluations and red flags on your boundaries with brands and what your audience will accept and tolerate and what their scrutiny of brands might be. There are nuances to this, and this is why there is an upper limit to how useful general information can be, and then specific information is just going to be more practical in application and in practice, because everyone's situation is at least a little bit different, but there are some general things that most people are doing wrong. And so, yeah, I don't think that inherently getting a manager and representation is better and paying for that is better. The rate on this is 20. Managers usually take 20% of whatever deal they bring in. They should not touch any of your AdSense revenue. That's a red flag. Do not let them touch if you work with management companies, do not let them touch your AdSense. Like, don't let them touch your AdSense at all. They should only be taking the market rate 20% of any brand deals they bring in. If you get brand deals on your own or someone else brings it to you, they don't get that 20%. Now, they might have you sign an exclusivity deal where you have no other management or representation. That's different. Now, if they're just doing your brand deals management, that's one thing. If they're doing overall general management for your YouTube business, there are a lot of other things you have to get out of them, and they might take fees. It's better for you to pay the fees for management. It's better to pay management fees than to give up a percentage of your business or a percentage of your AdSense. Do not give up a percentage of your AdSense if it comes to being under management. Negotiate any other arrangement you can. Do not do it. When it comes to negotiating, I think you're the best negotiator on your own behalf most of the time. Now, the thing with management and them getting 20% is sometimes they'll have leverage to negotiate that you don't, in the fact that they might be able to bring a stable of other talent and influencers to the table and bundle you in. They might also have access network access to opportunities you don't, and to brands you don't have a direct connection to, or the decision maker at a brand that you don't have a direct connection to. So there are advantages that can come maybe with the right management team, but not by default. Not by default. That's why it'll be based on who the management team's relationships are, what their track records are, what other influencers they represent. There's a lot of moving parts in that. That's why I work individually with creators. That's why I work individually with creators to help go through this and to figure out what the right deal is for them. Tawana Yvette on Demand says, I got the playbook. It's amazing. Thank you. Brian Matissa says, speaking of linking to your own web property, which I agree with 1000% instead of YouTube, do you recommend adding the link in the original post or in the comments or replies, social media post or in the comments or replies? So this is a good question. It depends on the platform. For some platforms, you can add it directly in the social media post. In other platforms, depending on what platform it is, might be better as a comment, pinned comment, if you're allowed pinned comments. So that would be valuable. Something that's underrated is the fact that every creator in Instagram now can link out. There's no swipe up anymore. It's linking out to, your platforms now. This is incredibly powerful for affiliate marketing if you're a lifestyle influencer, a tech influencer, or a beauty influencer, or if you sell your own products. So I would highly recommend that. And that could be incredibly lucrative for you. So highly recommend that. Ernest Khan, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Hey, Roberto, I got monetized 6 months ago, but fell off due to life stuff. Do you know how long monetization is good for, and what do I need to do to maintain it? Okay, so when you take long breaks, you still need to at least do community tab post in order to maintain monetization. I'm going to do an updated YouTube video on all of the 2024 YouTube monetization rules. I did a video on things that will get your channel demonetized or get your videos demonetized. So you guys might want to check that out. It's 7 things that get you demonetized. I made another video on 7 things that get your channel deleted. So you probably want to check those videos out on the channel. One of the things is if you can't upload a video within every 6 months, you need to at least upload a community tab post every 6 months. You also need to maintain the 4,000 hours of watch time per 12 months. So that will definitely cause you to fall off and get out of the partner program. I'll probably be doing a video covering that. The Satchel Rose says, how do you feel about ebooks? I think ebooks are great. I think if you do an ebook, though, you should also do a print book of the ebook. And I think you should do an audiobook as well. And maybe even a hardcover, call the hardcover the collector's edition. And that will increase your monetization. Yeah. Sean Park says, can you please give us a walkthrough of Awesome Creator Academy and how it will benefit a new 4-month-old YouTube channel? At some point, I can give you guys a walkthrough of Awesome Creator Academy. That's not what I'm really here to do today. I actually, unless your 4-month-old YouTube channel has a business behind it, I don't think it's for a 4-month YouTube creator. For a 4-month-old YouTube creator, you should be going through every single one of the videos that I put out for free that you possibly can. And you should make sure that you're getting your monetization up. Awesome Creator Academy, I don't know that it would be good for you at 4 months as a brand new YouTube channel, Sean, unless you have a business behind that YouTube channel. If you have a business behind that YouTube channel and it directly sells a product or a service of some kind, if you're an entrepreneur, then it would benefit you in that situation, because then you could go down the monetization track for that. Which is the revenue track, instead of worrying about the reach or the reputation track. So the thing is, if you're just 4 months old as a YouTube channel and doesn't have a business behind it that sells products or services, 4 months, too young. If you're 4 months, you still need to get your sea legs, build up your understanding of YouTube as a platform, go through all of my free content before you think about joining Awesome Creator Academy. At best, maybe some of our $9 frameworks from the Creator Success Blueprints. That's a $9 product, the Creator Success Blueprints. It's about 10 PDFs. Those 10 PDFs might be more helpful to a 4-month-old channel, but the Academy itself, the membership itself, not so much. But things like the $9 Creator Success Blueprints, that would probably be helpful because it would give you some guidelines for how to build a successful channel. To give you a taste of that, let's look at the deeper framework. This is something that's in the Creator Success Blueprints. If people are interested in that, this is something we teach in Awesome Creator Academy, but we gave you guys about 10 or 12 of our blueprints that you can check out. I'm going to put this in the chat. Creator, it's also in the description, Success Blueprints. If you ever want to get some real value, but you also want a convenient way to support the channel, this is a $9 product, and you get about 10 or 12 of these PDFs. So what I'll do is I can walk you through some of the deeper framework because I wanted to talk to you guys about this tonight anyway. Building your audience avatar. So it's called Deeper, which stands for demographics, experiences, expectations, preferences, engagement, and revisions. So the thing is, we want to understand who our audience is. This is going to be important for our content strategy, but it's also going to be important for our monetization strategy. It's also going to be important for what our audience sees as social proof. And we need to understand all three of those things. So we need to understand reach. Reach is going to be our content strategy. Reputation is going to be our social proof and personal brand and what we're known for. And then, reach, reputation, and then revenue. Revenue is how we monetize and make our money. And the thing is, that is going to definitely have a big component in what our audience absolutely cares about, what they value, what they perceive as value, and what they already value enough to spend money on. So we have to deeply understand demographics. Demographics is things like age, location, gender, occupation, and those kind of characteristics. We need to know what their experiences are, what their attitudes, values, and interests are. And then expectations. We need to know what it is they're already accustomed to, what content are they already watching, what brands do they already support. This gives us a deeper understanding. Preferences and priorities. We need to know what formats they like, what ultimately appeals to them emotionally, what qualifies or disqualifies them, what turns them off, what gives them the ick, quote unquote. So we need to know that. We need to know how they engage, what they engage with most. What percentage of them are passive viewers, what percent of them are active, really engaged, who is a silent supporter, and what are they willing to do? And then, who are the vocal minority and things like that. And then we need to constantly reevaluate this over time because these things can change and we need to make revisions to our plans accordingly. And so that's just a quick overview of the deeper framework. And there are other things that, explain these things in even more depth. An example of more depth might be something like the clarity framework. And so this is another one that really helps you understand your audience. So we look at things like core values, the look and feel of our brand, truly understanding the audience, building a reputation, what makes us unique, what builds trust with the audience, and what's the result that they yield. So understanding the core values of your audience and what you want your brand to embody and what your core values are going to be so you have alignment with your audience, very important. The visual elements that you use to attract your tribe, that becomes important, and you want to be consistent across the board in that. You want to deeply understand who your audience is because then we can go deeper and then get clarity on that. Reputation. What do we want to be known for in our niche? What would allow us to stand out? How can we earn that reputation? And again, what's the alignment to our core values so that we can be consistent there? What's going to have us stand out? What is going to make us exceptional? What can we use to build our social proof? What does it require to gain the trust of our audience, and what do we have to deliver on, and what represents transparency from their point of view. And then also, what benefits do the audience yield from the experiences that we're creating from them? So these are all things that we teach in Awesome Creator Academy. And these are things that exist in the Creator Success Blueprints. If you want to check those out, $9. Again, deeper understanding of your audience. So it's things like that that I think are helpful resources. These are also some of the things I talk about in my book. And those are just affordable things that I put together that would allow someone to support the channel, support the content. That makes it really easy versus whatever my one-on-one coaching cost, when we do courses in the future. There's a lot of affordable stuff that I make to get people started. The most affordable thing I do is free content and answering questions in these live streams. And so that's the easiest way that I know to help you guys. But for the people who can't afford it, when they do, how they support ends up making it easier to support everyone else with free and affordable stuff. So, you know, that's the deal. The Hustle Hub says, Roberto, if I had a curiosity faceless channel on YouTube, what are your thoughts on it? Because it's a large audience, but I'm afraid of reused content. It's the nature of the content. You can do a faceless YouTube channel and do completely original content. One of my recent coaching clients did. So one of my recent coaching clients, he does a history channel. He does a Wild Wild West channel. Okay. And this is pretty much a faceless YouTube channel, by the way. This is pretty much a faceless YouTube channel. And so if you guys can't see the views he's getting, I'll just enlarge here. So the thing is, he gets views. He gets really good views on this faceless YouTube channel that he does. That's Wild Wild West. He doesn't get hit with reused content policy, because the thing is, just because you're doing a faceless channel doesn't mean it shouldn't be original content. Just make original content and you won't have to worry about the reused content policy. So yeah, there's plenty of, see, the thing is, I think history, finding really cool niches within history is a really good channel idea. And you see how many views it can get. And that can be incredibly powerful. You know, he's not even at 100K views yet. He's getting a lot of these videos have 50, 70, 100,000. Yeah, some of them will get 18, 20, 16K, but that's just how YouTube is. Some things are hit and miss, and some characters in history are more interesting than others. And so it's kind of history, and in a way, because you're dealing with a lot of these brigands and desperados and people, there's a little bit of almost a true crime vibe, but in a specific era of U.S. history. So again, you know, very dope. So there's all kinds of interesting niches out there for faceless channels. And you don't have to worry about the reused content policy if you don't reuse content. So something to analyze says, hey, Roberto, what do you suggest for dealing with a low after all-time high? Change the thumbnails, the way of work, or simply keep producing content? A lot of times obsessing over trying to get the most views out of a video you already posted doesn't do anything. And a lot of times the best answer is to move on to the next video and just take it on the chin and swing again. It's no different than any other at-bat. The reason we call it at-bats is you can't do anything about the balls that you missed, so you have to swing again. Just swing again. It's like, oh, I missed, swing. I missed, swing. Oh, I struck out? All right, I'll get him next time. All right. Get him in the next inning. Oh, we didn't win that game. All right, we'll show up in the other games in the season. We'll make it up later in the season. All right, there's always next season. You just keep going. You just keep going. I'll give you a simple philosophy for YouTube that I borrowed or stole from Austin Kleon. Austin Kleon, if you don't know, is a great author, and the 3 of his books, I actually can formalize how to succeed on YouTube just using the Austin Kleon model. So the Austin Kleon model is very simple. Steal like an artist. Steve Jobs and Pablo Picasso, I think, famously said that, Good artists borrow, great artists steal. Something to that degree, right? How do you steal like an artist? And we use steal in quotation marks. How do you steal like an artist? Look at 5 people who have the outcome and life that you want. They have the career that you want, if that's the career you want. They have the lifestyle you want, if that's the lifestyle you want. Find 5 people like that, and they shouldn't be carbon clones of each other. They should be people who each took their own way to get the thing that you want. So that means if you want to do a certain type of YouTube content, find 5 people that make that type of content that have different varying degrees of success, but are all successful in their own right and have the outcomes that you want, whether that's a silver or gold play button, whether that's success across multiple platforms, whether it's being a millionaire, whether it's having a good lifestyle, whether it's something that lets them be home with their kids. You find 5 people that have the outcome that you want, 5 people that have more or less 80, 90%, 100% of the lifestyle and outcome that you want, because your goal is to become the 6th. So you're going to take all 5 of those people and you're going to ruthlessly study them. And when I say study them, I mean you should commit 10 to 20 hours to studying the life, journey, humble beginnings, and know everything you can about each of these 5 people. You should spend 10 hours to 20 hours doing in-depth research and knowing everything you can about these 5 people that have what you want. Because if you don't do that, you're not being serious, in my opinion. Now, the thing is, I think you should literally write an old school book report on each of these 5 people. I think you should write a damn book report. And here's what will come from that. You should be thinking about what resources did they start with? Who inspired them? And who were their mentors? What tools of the trade did they acquire and have access to at the beginning of their journey? What tools did they start using when they started getting traction in their journey? What tools are they using now that they're successful? And what are their standards? Okay, so you should know that. You should look at, did they start out with resources? Did they start out with privilege? Did they not? What was the career and job they were working before? Did they have any skills that helped them along the way at the very beginning or early in their career? Did that help their YouTube channel? Matt Pat from Game Theory was helped by the fact he was a theater nerd in school and a statistician. So a math nerd plus theater nerd equals ultimate YouTube nerd. Okay, so that's Matthew Patrick from Game Theory. All right, big advantage. Mark Rober, engineer, lets him build things that no one else can build. And therefore, that's how he gets, obstacle course for squirrels, glitter bomb, all the viral videos that Mark Rober has, impossible without him being an engineer. So that was the background that helped them. So you look into their background, you study those things. So you study these 5 people in depth so you can steal like an artist and say, I'm going to adopt their standards. I'm going to adopt their habits and beliefs. I'm going to adopt the conditions that produce their success, and I'm going to reproduce those conditions. I'm going to borrow some from A. I'm going to borrow some from C. I'm going to borrow some from D. I'm going to borrow some from E. I'm going to borrow from each of these 5 mentors from afar, and I'm going to extract the value of their story and use it as the foundation and the table of contents for writing my own. And that's how you steal like an artist. Then what do you have to do? Once you've done that, and now you have the outline of how success is built from 5 successful people who have what you want, you've stolen like an artist. Now you need to show your own work, which means you have to produce your own work. You have to do something that shows your results and shows that you have all this knowledge. Now you have to deploy it, and you have to show what this knowledge is actually capable of producing. Then you have to produce worthwhile results. Then you have to show your work to people who it would matter to. And so what does that look like? You have to show your work. So that means putting out your content, publishing your content. You have results. You need to share those with the sponsors that you want to work with and attract. You want to sell something, you got to produce results and show people the transformation that this solves. How do you do that? If you want to sell something, probably sell something that you yourself would buy or that solved your problem. You solve your problem, you make a product that around the problem that you solved for yourself, or a service that you solved for yourself, and you show your work, you demonstrate results, you communicate value. By the way, my entire YouTube video was based on first helping freelancers, which evolved into helping creators. Do you know how that works? It's because I was a freelancer. I was able to show that, hey, I've done client work. I get clients. I'm going to do software tutorials. I showed off my skills. Hey, if you would like skills like me so you could do freelance work, follow my tutorials. Oh, you want to get clients? I'll tell you how I get clients. Here's how you negotiate your contracts. Here's how you know what to charge. Here's how you know to price yourself. Here's how you build your portfolio. Here's how you build a portfolio website. Here's how you build a print portfolio. Here are the companies that I get my prints from, and here are the ways to sample print companies so that you get the best deal and you're getting the best materials. Oh, here's how to do this. Here's how to do that. I got to 100,000 subscribers that way before I ever concentrated on helping content creators. I got to 100,000 helping freelancers. The same rules to helping freelancers happen to apply to content creators. Go figure, which would explain my own transformation and journey, which was on display the entire time. Build in public, show your work, document your journey, use that as the catalyst for your creativity. Use that to bring you opportunities. So you show your work, you market yourself, you promote yourself, you aggressively promote and publish everything that you do to demonstrate and communicate your value, and then that translates into value. By the way, show your work also applies to when you want to make thumbnails. Best thumbnails tell a story. They tell a story. That's why we teach the vibes framework. They're visually attractive, they're interesting at a glance, they're bold in their contrast, color, and text. They have eye-catching elements, and they demonstrate status or social proof, the vibes framework. Another thing we sell in Creator Blueprints, another thing we teach in Awesome Creator Academy, the vibes framework. So that's a form of showing your work. Is your thumbnail demonstrates the quality of the video. If the thumbnail is not good, then why would the video be good? If the thumbnail is not good, why would the video be good? Show your work. And then finally, keep going. Third book by Austin Kleon, keep going. Clients rejected you, brand rejected you, keep going. Pitch another one, on to the next one. Thank you next, on to the next one, on to the next. Oh, you don't like, oh, so a brand turned you down? Go to their 3 competitors until someone says yes. A brand that you wanted to work with rejected your offer, laughed in your face, go to their direct competitor. Yeah, I said it, go to their direct competitor. A client turned you down, didn't like your price, go to their direct competitor. Offer them a discount to be petty. Like, go to their direct competitor. Move on to the next. You keep going. You keep going. Your video tanked. You didn't get the views you wanted. You cry yourself to sleep, and you get up and you make another bloody video. You keep posting. I got to 100,000 subscribers. You know how I did it? I went from 20,000 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers in 1 year. It's about 14, 15 months. You know how I did it? I woke up and I posted a bloody video every single day. I posted a video every single day. That's how I went from 20,000 to 100,000 subscribers in about 15 months. Took me about a year, and I did it. February, go back and look. Go back and look. February of 2015. February of 2015, I had 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. I went and I published in 3 years, I published 800 videos in 3 years. From February of 2015, I had 20,000 subscribers. By the end of 2015, I was at 75K. You can go look it up. By the time it was April, I think April or May of 2016, I think it was May. So yeah, February to May. May of 2016, I hit 100,000 subscribers. That same July, Mr. Beast hit 100,000 subscribers in that July. He hit it about 2 months after I did. He hit 100,000 2 months after I did. We got our 100K in the same year. He's obviously doing well. He's the biggest channel now. But in the same year, okay, you keep going. You keep publishing. Mr. Beast, he published 460 videos to get to 10,000 subscribers. Almost none of you have that in you. You give up after 30. You give up after 50. You give up after 100. I told y'all, make your first 100 crappy videos. Get it out of your system. Great. It didn't grow you. Fantastic. But you got the experience. Now you know if you even like making videos, whether they succeed or not. Because the thing is, you have to like making videos, whether they get views or not. If you don't like making videos, whether they get views or not, and you only are happy when you get views, you're not going to make it. You're not going to be able to keep going. You're not passionate enough to sustain the hard work when times get rough. You have to be able to endure. You have to be able to keep going. So the Austin Kleon books are Steal Like an Artist, Show Your Work, and Keep Going. And it's the exact framework for being a successful creator. We find 5 people to model and mentor off of. We analyze their journey. We steal what we can, like an artist, remix it and put it into our own belief system because we borrowed from multiple sources. So the thing is, you're not making yourself a carbon copy clone of one successful creator that you admire, because that's stupid and it doesn't work. You find 5 people, you deeply try to understand them, you take what would work for you and you leave behind what wouldn't, and that's it. And then you make it your own and you build your own philosophy. Then you show your work as a result of that. And you do what's required, not what's desired. You do what's required to be successful, not what's desired. I'll give you another example and steal like an artist. When you find 5 successful creators that you admire, I want you to look at the lifetime uploads that it took them to get where they are. And I want you to try and see if you can find out how many videos it took them to get to like 10,000, 100,000 subscribers. And then find the average across each of those creators and realize that in order to get where they are, you have to be willing to go 30, 50% further to get that same result. And don't try and cheat and find the creators who went viral and got as far as they could with the least amount of uploads and the least amount of work. I would challenge you instead to pick 5 people who had no privilege, didn't go viral, and had to bumble their way through their success and had to grind it out. And I would find the people who took the hardest road to success, because that's probably the more realistic thing to happen than getting viral. So I would measure off of them. So just remember, PewDiePie had to make 100 videos to get 2,500 subscribers. Mr. Beast had to make 460 videos to get 10,000 subscribers. Mr. Beast tried his heart out and made 100 videos and didn't even get 1,000 subscribers. MKBHD, Marquez Brownlee, biggest tech YouTuber, his first 100 videos got him 78 subscribers. As far as I'm concerned, you want to be a successful YouTuber? Make 500 videos, because 100 of them won't be garbage. 80-20 rule. If you make 500 videos, then 100 of them won't be garbage. And if 100 of them aren't garbage, then there's a very strong possibility that 100 videos that aren't garbage make you anywhere from 100 subscribers a piece to 1,000 subscribers a piece, which means you'll probably end up between 10,000 and 100,000 subscribers if you end up making 500 videos and 20% of them, 100, are not crappy enough and are actually good and decent and worthwhile. Then there's a higher probability at 500 videos that, now, if you make 500 Let's Play gaming videos, I'm going to be mean. If you make 500 Let's Play gaming videos, you probably are going to be on the struggle bus forever and not grow that number, because that market and building videos that way is not a real strategy. That's spraying and praying. That's not a strategy. And the market has proven it won't respond to that. It won't respond to that. So I would say, I'm sorry if you're not new and early to a video game. I don't believe you can still make it as a Let's Play gamer. I'm just going to say it. Not without being the best in the world, being first, being early, doing something unique. Now, here's what will work. If you like playing video games and you want to be a gaming YouTuber, do interesting, unique challenges around the game that showcase skill or creativity. That's how people are succeeding in YouTube today. That's how the Minecraft YouTubers are doing it. That's how the GTA YouTubers are doing it. That's how the Roblox YouTubers are doing it. That's how the Sims YouTubers are doing it. The most creative gaming community in YouTube is the sandbox gaming community of people who play sandbox video games that demonstrate unique creativity. Skill shows up in the FPS community, the fighting game community, and the RTS community. Skill shows up there. Most of you don't have the personality to carry a Let's Play gaming YouTube channel, because if you weren't the funny class clown or popular kid in high school, you probably do not have the, and I'm being honest with you, I'm probably one of the only people that'll be honest with you, even if I come off as a dream killer or like I'm taking shots. I'm being honest with you. Because if you want to make that kind of content, then you should accept that you probably will be a hobby creator unless you happen to go viral. And if you're okay with that, there's no problem with that. There is nothing wrong with doing YouTube as a hobby. But if in your heart of hearts, you know you want to be full-time, then you should treat it like a job, treat it like a career, treat it like a business, treat it with respect. And part of doing that is being a serious adult and saying, I will make what people respond to instead of making what will make me happy. If your greatest priority is to make what makes you happy, be a hobby creator. Monetizing that is fine to make a little side money and put it back into the hobby. Plenty of people put money back into their hobbies. It's okay to have a hobby if it makes you feel good, but stop insisting on getting professional full-time results from hobby effort and hobby habits. That is my point. And I specifically am calling out the gaming community on this because the gaming community is the biggest single community of people who on the margins do not succeed on YouTube and wonder why. And it's not because of the fact that you don't make good content at all. It's that because it's that you are not prioritizing putting an audience first. A lot of you are making what makes you happy. And growth comes from putting an audience first. And it comes from strategy. It's not about making what you want to make is not the same as what they want to watch. And what they want to watch is the priority. And you know why I can say that? I can say that as someone who's not in their growth era for reach and then move to their growth era for reputation and revenue. And when I knew what I was doing to get reach, I knew what my answer was for what my niche was. If you are an education tutorial niche, the reality is if you can post daily or post 3 to 5 times a week, that is optimal for content that you know relies on search specifically and has a limited market. The way to escape that limited market, if you want to do education content, is you would have to narrow the education you're doing to relationships, health, money, productivity. Those are the 4 niches of education that would scale edutainment if you care about doing that. If you care about doing that. If you're not aligned to that, then you can't optimize like a normal YouTuber around homepage views as easily. So your stuff has to focus on money, aka wealth creation, relationships, which could be, that could be dating, that could be family oriented, family planning. There could be a number of things there. Marriage counseling, those do very, very well on the homepage without relying completely on search, but you end up having to put an edutainment spin on it, which means you have to be more than just an educator. You have to be a personality there. And then there is productivity, which then is more like Ali Abdaal. So you would have that. And so that focuses around productivity, career development is a crossover, wealth creation is a crossover there. He does a lot of all of it, to be honest with you. He actually hits all 4 of those things. Ali Abdaal does talk about relationship stuff from time to time as a successful young man. He does talk about productivity quite a lot. He's the largest productivity guru on YouTube. And he talks about money, but he also did Gymshark, and he does talk about his fitness and also mental health. So that's the health portion. So it's wealth, health, relationships, and productivity is the 4 education pillars that scale to normal people, After that, everything becomes a niche market of not a broad general market. So I know that there's a view ceiling and view floor for my market of content creators, because even though a lot of young people want to be content creators, here's the reality. They don't want to watch education about being content creators. What they will watch is entertainment or interviews from the content creators that they know, like, and admire and wish that they were like. They will not watch tutorials on video editing, barely. Some of them will, but like most people won't even sit through learning how to video edit. They won't sit through learning how to make thumbnails. And if they do, they don't want it from somebody who did it like in corporate America. They want it edited with their cringy memes for the culture. And I ain't doing that. So I understood what my deal was. That's why I also don't radically chase reach. I chase an older market, which is the smaller market of YouTube. The most reach is the broad market of YouTube, which is dominated by people between the ages of 16 and 25. The overwhelming majority of the market of YouTube is ages 16 and 25. I'm turning 40 this month. I ain't got time for that. I'll get them on the back end when they grow up. When you sit in there and you're 25 plus and you're 25 to 55, holler at me on my channel. Come find me when you grow up, because I'm not going to come down to the younger generation and make cringy memes in every 2 seconds. I'm not going to edit for TikTok Adderall addict style editing. I'm not going to do it. So I know that I'm setting myself up to not get the most views. That's the balance. I accept that what I make is not what most of the market will want to watch. I'm okay with that because I'd rather move to a specific market, and I'm okay with that because I'm okay with not getting the 10, 15,000 subscribers a month I used to. Now, if your goal is growth centric, and it can be, then it's topic, title, thumbnail, and timing, which leads to total addressable market, what we call TAM, right? So in total addressable market, do I have a slide? Yeah, I have a slide on that. So total addressable market. Okay, yeah. So total addressable market comes down to your abilities, which is passion and skill overlap to ability, and then it's market fit. What will you be able to monetize, and how big is the market for what you're doing? The skills are what are you good at? The passion is what do you like doing? You need passion as a content creator to endure hard times, and it's the only thing that will allow you to get a higher level of skill, because you'll keep trying to better yourself. So you do need some passion. Should it be your number one passion? No. If you're passionate about gaming and history, I'd make a history YouTube channel because I know you can monetize it better, to be honest with you. So sometimes it's your number two passion, and then gaming. You might not be good at gaming, but you might be really good at teaching and have a really good voice. So then that lends itself better to making that history YouTube channel instead, or making that finance YouTube channel instead, or making that fitness YouTube channel, or that relationship YouTube channel. So skill level does matter, because everything happens in proportion to your skill, because that's about value creation. Value creation also can only scale to how big the audience actually is, how big the demand is, your total addressable market. And then the market fit also has to be your alignment. Are the people in the market as passionate about the same things that you're passionate about? And then what's the means of monetizing that? Are you monetizing that through sponsors? Or are you monetizing it through people who can afford to pay you? How many people in the audience? Is it the top 10% of the audience? Is it the top 1% of the audience? Is it 0.1% of the audience? If you do gaming, 0.1 to 1% of the audience can buy something. If you're in an education market, then maybe up to 10% of the market can buy something from you. 10% of your audience can buy something from you. That's extremely lucrative. If you're an entertainer, 1 to 5% of the audience can and will buy something from you. If it's a spread audience, primary example would be sports entertainment. Sports entertainment, 1 to 5% of the market can and will buy in for that. It could be more, but that's going to be like the minimum threshold. Probably closer to 1 to 10% on sports entertainment, if I'm being honest, and people do throw money at that. But depends on what the offers are in terms of price, average price. So take that with a grain of salt. If you were doing advocacy or you were doing nonprofit stuff, it's going to be 0.1% to 1% of the market that's willing to put their money where their mouth is. Let's just be real about that. So in that regard, you have to build your strategy with Ikigai in mind of, here are the things I'm passionate about. Am I really good at them, or do I wish I was good at them? Let me be real. Am I one of the best gamers in the world? Am I entertaining? Do I have a personality? Am I an extrovert? You know, can I withstand embarrassment and be goofy for views? Like, you have to understand what your skills are and what they're not, and be real with yourself. Then, okay, if I go in that niche, here's the limited monetization. Here's copyright claims. Here's this thing. Here's that thing. Oh, is there another market I can go into? Now, there's ways around monetization on gaming. I'm not trying to dunk on gamers. Monetization in gaming lends better to making 40-minute content in sandbox games like GTA, Minecraft, and Roblox. 40-minute games chock full of ads. You can get high CPMs and high RPMs in that. It might annoy the hell out of a lot of those people. A lot of those people will just throw on ad block. But if you get the views, you can get sponsors. So then you can offset that way. you will have limited options. You won't really do great with affiliate marketing. You won't do great with direct sales. You probably won't do great with merch because you can't use the IP from the game because of copyright and trademark. So again, same thing for a movie reviewer or a television show reviewer. So those are kind of some of the things to look at. Abaddon, what's up? $10 super chat. Hey, your brand deal StarKit definitely opened my eyes to more things. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. JT Collins Rings, thank you for the super chat, says, thank you. This stream is packed with jewels. You're very welcome. What says, how come you ditched the headphones? Right now, I don't have a guest on, so I don't need my headphones. They're still right here. I don't need them. It's summer, so it's hot. I could wear my sports cap for my braids and my hat. So I could do that, and then I could put the headphones on without messing up my hair too much. But it's hot, and I don't have a guest, so why bother? I don't need to monitor any of the audio right now. I know that the audio is good right now. I don't need to monitor it because I don't have a guest. Good question, though. The Salon Guy says, hey, Roberto, I'm experimenting with AI-generated content on my channel. Just be careful about YouTube's new guidelines. I'm getting mixed feedback. What are your thoughts on using AI content on YouTube? Use it little and sparingly. I actually think that AI should just improve content you're already making. I don't actually fully believe in using it purely generatively for video content. And I think viewers look at it as lazy, and that's the last thing you want. So I actually think that you should do as close to mostly human content as possible, even if that means going the quality over quantity route. The guy I was showing you, you know, with the Wild Wild West channel, I believe it's Josh. Yep, Josh. Josh, his content's not AI generated. His content's not AI generated. He's using mostly stills and some effects and still doing it by hand and doing voiceover and doing it podcast style, kind of like a true crime channel. So he's borrowing the best of true crime channels methods and applying them to his faceless YouTube channel around Western history, like from the Wild Wild West era, and telling the great stories of that. And so it's really good. And he's not using AI for that. And so I think a lot of you should not try to rely on AI generated content. One, I think regulations and even YouTube's own rules and guidelines make that a no. And so I don't think it's really worth it. And most audience will view it as lazy. John Constantine says, I've done vlogging and I only have 400 subs. Would like to switch to news and politics without starting with a clean slate. John Constantine, my advice to you is to start with a clean slate. One, YouTube actually benefits new channels, and I proved this with my highlights channel, by the way, without even making custom thumbnails. I proved this with the data. I think it was 2 years ago. I proved this with my highlights channel. And yeah, just make a new channel. Honestly, if you only have 400 subscribers, ditch and abandon the current channel. The audience signed up for vlogging. They're not there for news and politics. That 400 subscribers has no connection to the new videos you want to make. Todd Beaupre from YouTube said that videos that we make or even videos that we delete are private have a direct connection to the specific viewers and subscribers of that content algorithmically. So guess what? That told me everything I needed to know about when, which I need to make a video about when should you start a new YouTube channel, or should you start a new YouTube channel, or should you start a second YouTube channel? I need to make those videos to answer this question for everybody, because everybody's probably searching for it. You should make a second YouTube channel when the audience and the value is changing. Dude, do you really think that if you promise people a vegan restaurant and then you move to a barbecue and you say, all right, we're rebranding and I don't want to change my logo, but we're a barbecue pit now, do you really think that's going to work out? It's not. It's not. So it's a really bad idea. And you're not going to retain those people by code switching on them. So the reality is, start a new channel for a new audience. If it's a new audience, If it's a new audience avatar, you start a new bloody channel, no matter how painful it is, because there's no advantage to just starting out because, oh, I have more than 0 subs. That's your feelings. Like, nope. Facts don't care about your feelings, and neither do your subscribers. Hate to break it to you. They're there for the value of the content. Most people arrogantly believe that the audience is there for them. Your hardcore 1% of your audience will be there for you. Maybe 1%, maybe 10% of your audience will be there for you specifically. Usually that's not the case. They're there for the value of the content. They're there for what you do. One of the harshest truths of life, one of the harder truths of life that I would sober many of you up on is this. And, you know, I know some people take it personally and it hurts some feelings, but one of the harshest truths of life is that most people don't value you. They value what you do for them. They do not value you. They value the utility that you provide. They don't value or care about you beyond what you provide. And if you stop providing it, they will find someone who will, and you will be replaced. That is true for your employers. That is true for most people who are not your friends and family. And even then, if you are not a reliable and consistent person, even your friends and family will not value you the same way, even if they smile in your face. The reality is people want to be around people who do value creation in their life. And the thing is, if you provide a specific value and utility to people, and then that changes or no longer exists, they are not going to stick around and keep supporting. That is how it is. And it's unfortunate, and it might hurt people's feelings, and people might stop watching the stream or the channel because I said that. But the thing is, I need you to accept that as real and then act as if it's true, and then position accordingly to it being true. So if you're going to completely code switch on your audience, start and build a new channel. And as painful as it sounds, if you're at 400 subscribers, it's not a big deal to start over. There's a high probability that by pivoting to a new niche, and with the advantage that newer channels have, that you might get those 400 subscribers a lot sooner, John. You'll probably get those 400 subscribers a lot sooner by just switching to a new channel, fresh, clean slate, and doing politics and news. And if you do it, I'm going to recommend something to you. I'm going to recommend you do daily news and daily news and politics. I'm going to show you guys another one of my coaching clients. I worked with Steve multiple times. I'm going to bring up his channel, and I'm going to make a point that I'm going to show you guys. This is my friend Steve Ram. He's a real estate guy who became a YouTube commentator in news and finance, and to a lesser degree politics. But if it affects your money, he's at 500,000 subscribers. When I started working with Steve, I don't think he had even 5,000 subscribers. I don't think he even had 5,000 subscribers. I think he was at about 3,000 subscribers when we started working together during the pandemic. I think me and Steve have done 5 calls together in our time together. He is killing it. And he did the stimulus content. And I told him, hey, stimulus content may not last during the pandemic. Cover Social Security, cover taxes, cover student loan relief, cover anything that has SSI, cover anything that has to do with government benefits and programs. And then maybe you'll be able to pivot into broader issues at some point. And he was able to successfully accomplish that. Now, different videos are hit or miss, but he gets a crap ton of views, and he goes daily. And the thing is, y'all may not think that these views are impressive, but because he does daily, he has enough outlier 100K videos, and he's in a niche that has $30 plus RPMs because it relates to money and finance. He has $30 plus RPMs. So Steve is killing it. And his content has a decent life cycle depending on what he covers and what the news cycle is. And so he racks up views, and it prints money, and it does very, very well. I'm going to have him on my podcast to talk about this, but this is tremendous. I have no doubt he'll probably end up being a 1 million subscriber channel one day with how he went to 500K, maybe in 3 years or 2 to 3 years, depending on what pivots he makes next. And if it goes big enough, he can do it. Now, he took a specific angle that lets him address the overlap of politics with government funds that might affect people's money. And he also then gets to use that to dabble into bigger events. But a lot of this is things like $1,000 a month stimulus checks to all U.S. low income proposal to Congress, a bill that might increase Social Security, SSDI, and SSA, like, clawbacks. So Social Security change. So these are things that affect millions of Americans that are on the system in some way, shape, or form. Covering this information has a large total addressable market for Steve. So that's why he's able to get views. It goes into the principles we talked about. And then it also works for the vibes framework. So again, these are things that Steve is doing successfully. So John, by making a completely fresh channel that pivots into a news and politics audience, I think you're better off than trying to take a 400 subscriber vlogging channel and convert those people. I think there's no advantage to trying to give that, content to that audience. I think starting from zero and letting the algorithm take the wheel is the answer for you. I really do. And so that's why we look at. Now, there are people who successfully pivot with channels, but usually the crossover for their audience is there that allows for that. I don't think vlogging crosses over for you to politics at all. John Resnick says, hope I'm pronouncing that right. Roberto, I just booked a 90-minute session with you. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it too. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. That is wild. Thank you. And Enamored Beauty says, hey, Roberto, best way to make sure SEO is accurate. So a lot of you optimizing for SEO are also doing that wrong. Just like I said, you're doing brand deals wrong. Optimizing for SEO, what you want to optimize for when it comes to SEO is classification and categorization. And SEO is not about, oh, SEO works or doesn't work because I'm getting more views. SEO works and doesn't work measured on what your rankings for queries are. So you would use the ranking for that. Now, just because you're ranking for something doesn't mean you'll get a lot of views on it, because you can rank on something, but that thing you're ranking on may not get a lot of searches, So since it may not get a lot of searches, your expectations have to be tempered. But if it can rank not only for one search query, but for multiple search queries, the real goal for SEO, most of you are doing this wrong, would actually be if one piece of content can rank between number 1 and number 5, but for multiple variations of a question or a problem. So you actually want to rank number 1, not for one search term, but for like 20 of them with the same piece of content. And then beyond that, you actually want to build sequel and series content around that problem. So the actual goal for SEO is not based on whether it succeeds with one video or one article. I know this because I rank in Google right now. Like right now, I want you all to do an experiment for me. If you're watching this right now, whether you're on the live stream or on the replay, I want you to go and open up a browser tab in your phone or on your computer for Google. And I want you to search how many YouTube channels have 1 million subscribers. And I want you to put that into Google, not into YouTube search, into Google search. And the thing is, my website, Awesome Creator Academy, should be in the top 5 results for that search. So type in how many YouTube channels have 1 million subscribers, and my channel, my website, awesomecreatoracademy.com, should rank somewhere in the top 5 for that. If you do the same search and you search how many YouTube channels have 10 million subscribers, I should be in the top 5 in Google for that. If you search how many YouTube channels have 100K subscribers, I should be in the top 5 for that on Google. I want you to do that experiment, and I want you to tell me the results in the chat or in the comment section of this video. And my point with that is how SEO works. Because, by the way, I'm going to end up doing it on YouTube and ranking on YouTube for it, probably with YouTube Shorts, to be honest. Probably going to end up ranking on that with YouTube Shorts. during the summer, because that's my strategy that I'm working on for YouTube Shorts, and why I haven't done Shorts yet is I'm picking 100 search queries to rank the highest for. That's my research goal. So the thing is, there are variations of that, by the way, that I will also rank for variations of that question. And it's one of my strongest traffic hacks. And the reason I bring it up is you want to own a problem in your niche. That's the real SEO strategy, is to look at taking ownership of a problem, look at all the ways that someone can express a problem, and then make yourself inescapable in terms of that. Now, if you're saying you're trying to make sure the Tubebuddy or vidIQ SEO is quote unquote accurate, you still might be measuring it wrong, and you shouldn't be using their scoring metrics or their scoring numbers. And the real thing that you guys keep trying to measure SEO against is how many views you're getting or how many hits your website is getting. And that's not really the point. Not from my perspective. That's a good result to have from it. But the ultimate play, I personally believe, is the authority play of ranking for those different queries and then making so much content around a specific thing or problem that any which way someone tries to find that answer, they keep having to see your face until they give up and give in, and they realize they cannot get away from you. That's how I got 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, by the way. All I made was search engine content. I did not make homepage content. I didn't make homepage content. All I made is search engine content. In fact, this will be fun. Let's see. Yeah. So I have this data point. The lifetime views across 42 million views, 42 million views on my YouTube channel. 13 million of them are from search, 11 million from suggested, which is mostly live stream views, by the way, and 7 million from browse, 3 million from external websites, which is mostly google.com, by the way. So you can basically add that 3 million to the 13 million from search, because it's Google search is most of that there. So you can add about 2 or 3 million there. So, you know, really 40% of my traffic is actually search, if you think about it. Let's see, notifications on YouTube. In all these years, notifications hasn't done jack for my channel. 1% of all my views. Let's see. Yeah. So ultimately, you know, more than 1/3 of my views came from search in this entire time. 13 million views from search. So not turning my nose up at search. And really, it's close to 16 million if I count the external, which will mostly be Google traffic, and then other search engines. So this is why, you know, I would believe in that. It really looks like if you add it up, not even half of my content is browse and suggested between it. Like, or it'd be a struggle bus, actually be a struggle bus to get it to half, but about half. But yeah, so I would say that now that's my type of content, mind you, that's for my type of content. So my thing is search is underrated in YouTube because everyone talks about how more than 70% of all the traffic on YouTube comes from the algorithm suggesting content, which is true, but 90% of all of that traffic goes to the top 3% of creators. And the other 97% are fighting for 10% of the scraps of YouTube's views, which is still a lot of views. So the problem with, oh yeah, homepage, suggested algorithm, is you're fighting with rich YouTubers with unlimited budgets. You're fighting rich YouTubers with unlimited budgets. And by the way, 65% or more of all traffic is non-English speaking international viewership, which again, the biggest channels are catering to as well. So like, what are you actually fighting for? So that's why I still believe in search-friendly content. Now, again, if your goal was to be a big-time entertainer or viral video creator, that doesn't help you. And since most people on YouTube are younger, that's where the advice comes from. I'm trying to cater a lot of my advice, frankly, to the creators on YouTube that are over 25, over 30, but the majority of YouTube creators are under 25 and they want to be entertainers, they want to go viral, they want to be famous, and that's not really who my strategy is built for. My strategies are much more built around the working class creator that's 25, post-college, got debt, has to work 40, 50 hours a week, may have a family. My strategies are built around the realistic person like that has maybe 10 hours a week of free time. Most they have is 20 hours a week of free time. They don't have a ton of resources, but they have access to a computer, a phone. Maybe they have some editing software. They might be using their phone, a webcam, or a $500, $600 camera on a budget. They might spend $100 on a microphone when they save up. Like, that's who my content is really built for. It's for the working class creator. Is 60% of my content is built for the working class creator. 30% of my content is built for the middle class creator that might have actually moved past doing this as a hobby, that has the potential to where it might be making some money every month. It might be something they are about to go full-time, or they just got full-time on YouTube, but that was 2 or 3 months ago, or they're trying to make that decision and it's hard on them and they still don't know where to go from here, or they're trying to do their, get more from brand deals, or they're trying to diversify. Then 10% of my content is for the established creator that wants to either sustain what they have or scale what they have. The sustainability is they need to build a team. They're burning out. Content's taken over their life. They don't want to get divorced and lose everything to YouTube that way. Like, that could be a real thing that's happened before. So they need to hire a team and they need to manage that. They need to automate some of their systems. They need to templatize some things. They need some structure. They need better work-life balance. This has taken over their life in a way they didn't expect. The money's so good, but they have no life anymore. They want to sustain and do this long term, or they want abilities to exit, or, hey, everything's going well, but they've plateaued and they want to scale the revenue and they want to increase the revenue. That's who 10% of my content is for that established creator. So 60% of it is the working class creator, 30% of it is the middle class creator, and then 10% of it is that established creator. And so for me, that's how I look at these things. And I would say that if you are an aspiring creator, if you're not in the entertainment category, you should still take advantage of search content, but don't look at it purely from the immediate views, because the way search works, and I'll show you this because I know it's easy to be skeptical of these things. I will show you a video that I thought was bombing, but I was like, no, I know better. I've done this before. So here's this video. This is a green screen tutorial. And what you're going to see is how it initially did when I published it. It did horribly. It did horribly when I initially published it. But then it kept going and going and getting more and more lifetime views. In fact, for this video, where is... Hang on. Green. For this video and its analytics, this video performed terribly initially. It has over 100,000 views now. 130,000 views and counting, and it's getting about 500 extra views a day. If I judge this video even on its first 100 days, if I judge this video even on its first 100 days, this video would have been terrible compared to the fact that it should have had at least 10,000 to 30,000 views. But I let it ride, and it kept going and going and going, and it became an overperforming video over time. It became an overperforming video. And how did that happen? It happened because 73% of its views came from search, and the other 14% came from external, which was Google. So that means that 90% of its traffic came from search. And so 90% of its traffic was absolutely search-driven traffic. Over 100,000 views from search. Because, yeah, look, external websites, most of that was Google search. Then it was Google Classroom. Then it was like these miscellaneous sites. And that was about 14%. So maybe close to 20,000 views of that, 130,000 views, et cetera, et cetera. So search. So the thing is, search isn't dead. And the click-through rate on this started out god-awful. And then it goes and it goes and it goes, and it's a double-digit click-through rate. It's being averaged across all traffic sources, but right now, it's like a 13% click-through rate right now. So again, given time for evergreen content that's search-friendly, you have this great opportunity. And this is how I originally grew my channel, y'all. It wasn't off of how to help YouTuber content. It was tutorials like these for people developing their skills as freelancers, but those freelance skills help you become a content creator. It's the same skills, at least my types of skills. My skills were photography, video editing, video production, graphic design. Guess what? All of those freelance skills a YouTube creator needs, or an editor for a YouTube creator needs, or a thumbnail designer for a YouTuber needs those. So working for a YouTuber, those skills would have helped you. Working for clients, those would have helped you. Getting a job in the creative services industry at an ad agency, those would have helped you. Becoming a content creator, those would have helped you. The foundation of my channel was built on skill building and learning to negotiate your own contracts for freelance deals, which translates to negotiating your contracts for brand deals too, by the way. Same system. Finding and acquiring your clients, same thing as finding your customers and serving your customers for making your products, your merchandise, graphic design skills, merchandise and branding, thumbnail design. So again, it all works out. Victor says, hey, Roberto, question. I'm interested in booking a coaching call with you. I have over 1,200 subs. Well, congratulations on 1,200 subs. 97% of creators never make it into the YouTube Partner Program. 90% of people never have 10,000 subscribers. So don't get it twisted. 1,200 subscribers, 1,200 subscribers. That's actually a good, strong start for beginning to build something. You're wanting to build your brand. Do you recommend a call, or should I build my audience a bit more? Okay, so Victor, since you're at 1,200 and you at least are monetized, I wouldn't say a coaching call is right for you, but the Academy Pro group might be. The Academy Pro group might be, and then maybe with that, you might be able to scale and get yourself from 1,200 to 5,000, and we could look at from 5,000 whether or not you could in 6 months or a year go to 10 or 20,000 from there. Because what people don't understand is there's a compounding multiplier effect. Once you figure out, once you get to 1,000, it's the hardest thing in the world. For most people, it's the hardest thing in the world to get to 1,000 and get monetized. Now, if you join the Academy, yes, it's a monthly subscription, but the thing is, since you're monetized, you could figure out how to make the money back, because you could monetize the channel in different ways. You can do the ad revenue side of it. You could use the Amazon influencer program, and we could talk to you about how to optimize that if your niche is good for it. I don't know if you're in tech or home repair electronics, but those are really good niches for small content creators. And there might be things where even without the YouTube side, that if you're doing a niche like tech or home repair, home improvement, that the Amazon Creator Hub and the Amazon Influencer Program, even without YouTube, directly posting content reviews to Amazon like that, you could be making, a good 500 to 1,000 a month just doing that. A lot of people underestimate Amazon. When I was a small creator and I was getting started, the Amazon affiliate program, I was making rent money off of that. In my second month was making 500 from that. And then I was making 12 to 1800 a month on that, doing budget tech content, budget laptops, budget camera lenses and gear. I got with a company that was lending me products to review, loaning them out to me to do the reviews. So that was cool. So yeah, so there's a lot of opportunity. But if like I would say at your level, it's not as much hiring a coaching call with me. A lot of people who do that, they have a direct pathway to making the money back, like brand deals, for example. So what, or they have a company. So what I would say is the pro group, the Academy Pro group might be better for you, Victor, but it also depends on what you're trying to achieve and what your monetization method is most suited to for your content. There are things that I think at 1,200 could make you a couple $100 a month, but a lot of it isn't really about your subscriber count at that point. At that point, it's about how you're monetizing 1% of your overall audience at a time, which could be via multiple uploads a week. And also there's things you can do with the community tab. A lot of people don't realize they can make money with the YouTube community tab with a lot of different monetization methods, especially the Amazon influencer program. By doing listicle links and shopping list in your community tab a couple of times a week, you've already done the curated ideas and shopping and finding deals for your audience in Amazon. And that could be something that you'd be shocked how much money that could add up to if they just end up tossing something expensive in their cart. A lot of you probably don't realize that you don't just get paid for your thing that you link to in Amazon. You get paid for everything they put in their cart in 24 hours after they clicked your link. I do not think most of you understand how the Amazon thing works, but there are creators with 10,000 or less subscribers making $500 to $3,000 a month because they're very smart about using the Amazon influencer program. And it's not just because their social media platform, it's directly on the Amazon platform. There are ways to make money from the Amazon influencer program directly on Amazon, not just from your social media. And because people don't know that, they don't realize how the beauty niche can absolutely crush it even without a ton of views, and how the home repair niche can crush it, and how the product review space, because all anyone thinks about is AdSense, but the commissions can be really healthy in a lot of those product categories. If I sell a professional Sony camera lens, it's a $99 commission in Amazon. One sale. So the thing is, I could do a camera review and people could clown me because I get, oh, you got 10,000 views on that. You got 8,000 views on that. Every professional lens I sell was $99. So why do I care about the views? Like, if 5 people buy lenses, I made $500 on one video, and then I still get the ad revenue. And that video is evergreen. I could make money off that forever. That's how my friend Sean from Think Media, that's how they make their money. That's how Marquez Brownlee and Jedner, your average consumer, that's how Tech YouTube makes their money, is that it's through the scale of the affiliate links, and no one really talks about this. It's absurd. I know people, I have a friend who has about 100,000 subscribers. I actually coached him. I think we did 3 calls, or was it 4? It's about 4 calls actually. And we talked about his brand deals, but we also talked about how he could double dip more on his affiliate marketing. And he makes now, we were on a Twitter space about this, x.com, formerly Twitter. We were on a space about this. I think he said it's about roughly, he didn't give an exact number, he said, but it's between 5,000 and 6,000 a month on average on Amazon for him. He's a 100,000 subscriber channel, but also he's not getting viral views to make that money. It's like, it's drastically underestimated. And one of the best strategies is using the community tab. A lot of people don't talk about that. But there's so much money to be made outside of AdSense. And a lot of people are just not diversifying enough. And then there's the other platforms. And the other platforms, everyone's too excited about trying to use their other platforms to grow YouTube instead of using their other platforms to make money. Texas Goddess says, hi, Roberto. I edit using my iPad and iMovie. When I search for tutorials as to how to do something, most people use Macs, which seems different from my iPad. Where can I find help with editing? So this is a great question. I'll see in the future if I can dig up some tutorials on iMovie, or unless I make some. There's some old iMovie tutorials. Oh, but they're not editing on iPad, so the interface is different. That's true. Here's what I would suggest. Consider upgrading to something like Luma Fusion or consider getting the Final Cut Pro version of on the iPad, getting Final Cut Pro for the iPad and doing that. Now, in the meantime, with iMovie, it's going to be hard. But if you put iPad in quotation marks when you're searching, that might help you find exactly what you're looking for, Texas Goddess. I'm going to actually encourage somebody I know to make a YouTube channel on video editing that is specifically for mobile video editors and to address iMovie, CapCut, LumaFusion, and Final Cut Pro, and probably KineMaster for mobile video editors, and make tutorials around that, because I think that there is a 100K YouTube channel in someone just making video editing tutorials around mobile video editors exclusively. But if you want to find specifically iPad iMovie tutorials, you have to put iPad in quotation marks in your search query, and then that will make it exact match for the word iPad, which means that the word iPad will have to be included in it. So that's a search hack for you guys. One second here. Yep. Sorry, I was just texting Nick Nimmin. Moxie Approved says, hey, Roberto, I first got alerted by my subs and researched myself. One of my competitor channels cloned my voice in AI and is using it to narrate their work. Is there anything I can do about this? Yes, you can actually report them for impersonation. And if you're monetized on YouTube, go into your YouTube channel and go into the dashboard, and then you see how there's your account, the create button, the help button. There's this other thing called chat with creator support. You click on that, and it's going to open up a chat dialogue here. And then you'll be able to chat directly with YouTube support. And I would definitely recommend that you do that, and that you report them for impersonation. That sucks, man. I hope you get that sorted. But yeah, in that situation, that's what you're going to want to do, Moxie. That sucks that someone cloned your voice and is a competitor of yours and then use that to narrate their content. And the thing is, you can report it for impersonation. You can also report it under the deceptive practices policy. So I would do that, because they're essentially like, you know, scamming your audience by impersonating you. King Lemuel says, hey, Roberto, my channel is focused on making clips about various things, with nice edits being the highlight. A faceless channel. I got monetized, but I don't have a niche or an audience. How do I find one? Okay, so you want to attract your tribe. What I would do is I would look at all the videos you made, then look at what got the most subscribers and the most views, narrow it down to the top 20% of that, then say, what do those people all have in common, or what do they like? Then I would make the content around the top 20% of what got a response, scrap the other 80%, and then kind of focus more in that direction. And if you were making broad audience content, usually the thing that resonates the most with people is things that are, if it's not health, wealth, relationships, or productivity, then it will go usually into the entertainment-based vices, which will then come in the form of things like comedy, excitement, danger, fear, any number of those things. So like so it just depends on what content was resonating the most. And then I'd say double down on that, experiment a little, but you should also decide who do I think is a big enough group of people that I know how to make content to and attract. So from an entertainment standpoint, all right, so if you're like an entertainer, I'm going to tell you guys a secret to developing an audience as an entertainer is you pick people who have a specific thing that you can use to a degree, ambition or anxiety framing. So this is a psychological thing. You can use ambition or anxiety framing. Another way of looking at it is fear versus desire framing. Okay. So I want this thing, or I'm afraid of this thing. Primary example for this. If I was going to do a channel and I want a faceless channel that I know has broad appeal, I might do a faceless true crime channel. Here's why. A faceless true crime channel means that I have one of the most broad appeal, successful, proven niches across every single platform, not just YouTube. Of the top 10 podcasts in the world, 5 of them are true crime, I believe. 2 or 3 of them are comedy. Yeah, 3 of them are comedy, including Rogan. And then after that, you have 2 that are intellectual. So of the top 10 podcasts in the world, 5 are true crime, 3 are comedy, 2 are intellectual. And I believe one of them is Huberman Labs, and that one is focused on what? Usually around fitness, health. Like health, holistic, medicine, that sort of thing. So like, okay, so one of the things we talked about. So the comedy stuff usually dives into a lot of topics, but also a lot of it circles back to relation, news, politics, that sort of thing. So like, from that perspective, if I was going to do a faceless YouTube channel, I probably do faceless true crime. And that's a good entertainment-based channel that has unlimited market cap, unlimited content, unlimited potential. And there are a lot of ways to stand out in the market and differentiate yourself. Now, I'm not telling you to make that. I'm just using this as a point that I'm illustrating in content strategy of, oh my God, that's a high total addressable market. Oh my God, it's easy to go look at all the true crime podcasts, look at their podcast disclosures, get all the advertisers and sponsors for their podcast, make a list, reach out. So, oh, here are all the brand deals. So I know how to do that. Oh, this definitely gets views. Oh, okay. So I know the views. I know the brand deals. Oh, you know what? Maybe I could write a true crime book, or maybe I can write a thriller, and then the audience might go to that fiction thriller. And so then, other ways to monetize. Oh, there might be ways to do merchandise around this that then is just ironic t-shirts or stuff like that and builds a community. Oh, okay. Oh, membership on premium content. If my edits are really good, I can do premium content. Oh, if I become a really great editor, I can sell an editing course and do Skillshare and make money on the back end on that. Oh, so all the ways in the world, if I do a faceless YouTube channel on true crime, to monetize it as an entertainment-based thing. Ta-da! It doesn't have to always be an education-based, how to make money, how to do productivity. Like, that would be an answer, okay? So that's one route. That's one route. And I'm just using this as an example of the faceless channel niche. In fact, one day we'll do an entire live stream about faceless channels. So that's an example there in the entertainment realm. Here's another one in the entertainment realm that people are underestimating. Just making a faceless channel that's also a voiceless channel that is just about cute animals doing cute animal things. And you can literally make videos like 8 minutes of puppy meets kitten, 8 minutes of puppies and kittens, 8 minutes of a turtle eating a grape. Like, you would be surprised how many people will waste their time watching that. I swear to you. Animal ASMR, ultimate hack. So many views, faceless, voiceless. Voiceless scales it to international views, any country in the world. Easy. Content at scale. Color Tales says, Roberto, a lot of niches are now saturated. If someone I like started 8 years ago, they had undeniable advantages that no longer exist. And does that not mean I will get the same results now? No one gets the same results as another human being. So that shouldn't be the goal. As for saturated, tell me a niche that is saturated with 500 English-speaking creators, English speaking, that have 1 million subscribers. Tell me a niche with 500 channels in America in English that have 1 million subscribers, 500 channels. Tell me which niche has that. Niches are not saturated with quality. They're saturated with beginners. They're saturated with low effort content. They're saturated with low value content. They're saturated with low consistency content. There is no niche that you can name on YouTube that is saturated in English in America that has 500 creators with 1 million subscribers, all making high quality videos at high levels of consistency that have high value, high quality, high consistency. Like, it doesn't exist. Volume, value, quality, where? Show me. They don't exist because there are not. Like, most content is just very much on YouTube low hanging fruit. Most content has no real capacity to like crush it across every dimension of content. And so, no, the niches aren't saturated, not with quality, not by a long shot. There's no niche you can tell me in YouTube that has 500 channels with 1 million subscribers that are still crushing it, still relevant today, still pulling views, where they make high quality content, high value content on a consistent basis. It doesn't exist. Most of it is low hanging fruit. Because here's the thing. I think it's impossible that none of you succeed at YouTube. And by the way, you shouldn't be looking for other people's results. You should be looking for your results, or you should be looking for a specific result. So here's the catch. There are 70,000 channels in North America. There's 70,000 channels in North America that have gold play buttons now. Half of those are YouTube Shorts channels, so take that with a grain of salt. About roughly half of those are YouTube Shorts channels. So there's like, half might be an exaggeration, close to a third of, a third of them are YouTube Shorts channels. A third of them are YouTube Shorts channels. 70,000 channels in North America have silver play buttons, 100,000 subscribers. That's it. There are about roughly 180,000 channels that speak English in the Western world of UK, America, Australia, Canada, and so on, that speak English and have silver play buttons. About 180,000 in the entire world. That's not a lot. And there's 100 million YouTube channels. It's not a lot. So the market can't be saturated. The market can't be saturated. Not saturated with things that people gave their attention to. So you're not competing with every channel in your niche. That's the trick here. You're not competing with every channel in your niche. You're only competing with the channels in your niche that have 100,000 or more subscribers and are active, because why would you give a damn about the other channels? Why would you care about the other channels that don't have 100,000 subscribers that exist in your niche? Why would you care? If they have not gotten the response that leads to the result that you want, if you're talking about the results and outcomes those people have, most of the people that you're talking about that started 8 years ago aren't even active. And they're wide open for disruption. And they also have churned more audience members. They have lost more subscribers than you have. They probably lose more subscribers a year than you have. So like, even that is weird to really worry about or think about if you get perspective on it. No niche in YouTube is saturated with quality. It's saturated with low-hanging fruit. So I don't believe in competing with other small YouTube channels. I would set my sights on the standards of channels that have 100,000 to 1 million views in my niche, and there's not that many of them in whatever you're doing. So unless you're doing gaming, there's probably not even 150 English-speaking channels in your niche with 100,000 subscribers, let alone 1 million subscribers, not if they're English and not if they're in the United States of America. If you broaden that to English-speaking channels across the world, there's 180,000. So there's 70,000 YouTube channels in America that have silver play buttons. There are 15 verticals in YouTube, and every vertical has multiple sub-niches. Therefore, what I would conclude is it is almost impossible for any niche in America to have 500 creators in that niche that are active that have silver play buttons, except maybe gaming. Gaming is the only niche I think that probably that's true for. So I will concede saturation on gaming, but probably nothing else. And then if you said, well, beauty, well, what type of beauty? Because the subgenres of that are varied and diverse. And then it doesn't scale to everything, because then you have aspects of complexion, age, and other psychographics and demographic intersectionality on audience avatar. So here's the thing. You can't say that any niche is saturated, because the thing is, a niche is not what y'all think it is. A niche is an audience avatar. So there's an audience avatar that you could be catering to, and you have to identify an audience avatar that's underserved that you could grow with. An example would be initially my friend Glam Girl Gabby, which I did an interview on my podcast with her. I think the video is also here on the YouTube channel. We talked at Vid Summit, I think 2 years ago. She has, I think, 250,000 subscribers or more. She's crushing it on views on YouTube. The beauty niche was saturated. She wasn't an early adopter 8 years ago that blew up in the beauty niche. She's a relatively new YouTuber by comparison. And she's crushing it, and she's on the rise, and she's beating people who've been around for 8 years. So if you look up Glam, there's always, so for everyone who thinks the market's saturated and they can't compete, she's at 450,000 subscribers now. She had just gotten to, when we interviewed, I think she had just gotten to 160,000. So in 2 years now, she's at 450. She probably will, in another 3 years, be close to 1 million subscribed channel. She has 450,000 subscribers, 555 videos, and let's see. I'm going to read you the view counts from her last 5 videos. Are you ready? Her last video that she put out yesterday, 23,000 views, 23K views. Video 8 days ago, 37K views. 10 days ago, 523K views. 2 weeks ago, 66K views. 3 weeks ago, 41K views. 4 weeks ago, 82K views. 1 month ago, 175K views. This is a beauty YouTuber whose oldest videos go back about 4 years ago, and she was mad inconsistent. And back then, her videos only focused mostly on hair and lashes. And so she had to compete with people who had been successful on the platform 8 years ago. She came in 4 years ago. She made 500 videos. Not all of them got views. But now, the content's evergreen. So because her content's evergreen, all of her videos are getting views now, even the older ones, because they're evergreen, and some of those products are still in the market. Those brands are still in the market. But 4 years ago, she was getting like 3K views on a video, 7K views on a video, 5K views on a video, 1.7K views on a video. And this is just even 3 years ago. Even as far back, I think, as 2 years ago, she had videos that would get lower, views. 2 years ago, she had a video with 8.4K views. So the thing is, and it's not that, oh, wow, just go viral. Even 2 years ago, she had a video, women with thin hair love this haircut, 1.3 million views. The next upload, that's 1.3 billion views. The next upload after that, super easy holiday hair look, 6.1K views. Next video after that, 9K views. Next video after that, 13K views. Next video after that, 3.4K views. But the next video, 220K views. Next video after that, 3.5K views. All videos are dictated by is topic, title, thumbnail, and timing. Timing also equals trend to a degree. Transcript. Little hint about the algorithm there. So that means that the fate of our views is not entirely decided by our niche being saturated, because it's mostly saturated with crap. It's mostly saturated with extremely crappy videos and inconsistent videos at that, and low-hanging fruit that doesn't necessarily have any value. So I don't know what the issue is with worrying about competing with channels that don't have 100,000 to 1 million subscribers, because the point is we should only compete with what people committed to. And we should only have standards based on the highest performers that we can think of. Therefore, there is no saturation in any niche, because then when we narrow it down to, well, who do I really share an audience avatar with, then, and is also successful in the way that I want to be successful, that narrows the market down considerably. It narrows the market down considerably. So I would just change my standards of how I package the value of my content, my consistency and my quality to equal or exceed anyone with 100,000 to 1 million subscribers. And I would do that even as a small YouTuber, because then that's the answer. Because that's where the attention is going. I'm only competing with where the attention is actually going. And there are ways to disrupt that attention, because all I have to do is remember that if someone has 100,000 subscribers, there's 5,000 to 10,000 people that watch their videos minimum that are unhappy with that, or don't feel served by that, or don't feel like they were delivering what was promised, or that their stuff was good enough. And that's 5,000 to 10,000 I don't have yet. And then if I'm sourcing that and looking at the top 5 people in my market, that's 50,000 subscribers right there. If I look at 5 people in my market that have 1 million subscribers, there's got to, or even 100,000. If there's 5 people in my market with 100,000 subscribers, there's got to be 10% of the audience that doesn't feel satisfied. So among those 5 people, and they each have 10,000 people that aren't satisfied, that's 50,000 of my new subscribers right then and there if I serve those people and they are satisfied with what I do. So right then and there, that's where you compete. And then if you look at people who have 1 million subscribers, if people have 1 million subscribers, and you look at 5 people to 1 million subscribers, and you even siphoned 10%, 1% of their audience combined each or whatever, there's your silver play button. There's your silver play button right there. Right there, right for the taking. There's your silver play button. I don't worry about saturated niches. My entire YouTube presentation for Vid Summit last year was about the fact of being a destination channel and finding your audience and really understanding an audience and how to stand out and break out and how to serve underserved markets, and that there is no such thing as saturation in YouTube, not when you measure it by the numbers, because if you're an English-speaking creator in America, there are only 70,000 channels in this entire country with a silver play button, and I'll tell you a secret, over a third of them are inactive and another third of them are shorts creators. So now across 15 market verticals, you probably actually have only non-shorts and active channels. There's probably only 40,000 that are long-form creators that are still active with a silver play button in America that speak English. So you're competing with 40,000 people? No, because that's across 15 market verticals. And then each of those market verticals could be broken down into multiple sub-niches. So in your niche of active creators with silver to gold play button, you're not going to come up with 500 names unless you're in gaming. And then if you're in gaming, okay, what version of gaming? FPS, fighting, real-time strategy, adventure, let's play? So no. When you then break it down into your sub niche, you damn sure ain't coming up with 100 to 500 names. Even in gaming, maybe you could get to some of them where there's 100 that are American that speak English, maybe, that are still active and not YouTube Shorts creators, maybe. But there's no way. There's no way you're going to come up with 500 names that have silver play buttons in your sub niche that does the thing that you actually do, that is in America and speaks English. There's no way. The numbers don't support it. By the way, I'm not saying this to pick on you colorful tales at all. This is just a very passionate rant about the fact that the niche thing is something creators get in their head about, but it doesn't really exist. Most people's biggest problem is their belief about what they're doing, and the numbers would probably refute those beliefs. That's why I do all the data research that I do. That's why I pay so much money. That's why I have all these different tools. I pay almost $100 a month for Social Blade to get analytical reports and to do API reports. I sit there and I'm trying to mine the YouTube public API using the advanced version of ChatGPT. I'm sitting here making the articles about how many channels have 10 million, how many channels have 100,000, how many channels have 1 million subscribers, how many channels in which country have it. I'm sitting here aggregating all this data because how many creators are monetizing the YouTube program. It's 3 million out of the 100 million channels worldwide, so it's 3%. I'm sitting here getting the real numbers because then I can counter the fears that people have with the reality. World According to Briggs said, hey, Roberto, I did like 300 videos to hit 100K subs. Yeah, that's about right. For a lot of people, it's going to be 500 videos, but yeah, 300 to 500 is about right. Yep, Malevolent Elephant, friend of the channel, says, classic Roberto rant. Yep. Trading, what Travis says, it just hit 10K subs. Congratulations, Travis. Appreciate you. Yeah, less than 10% of creators hit 10,000 subscribers. Minimalist Carnivore says, hey, Roberto, I started a niche at 60 years old 10 months ago in a tiny niche. And at 15K subs, I'm already glad I started and was not going to, and wasn't going to before. Roberto, you're one of my favorites. You tell it like it is. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Clovertax says, once I stopped trying to find ways to make money and started monetizing what I already did, things got way better for me. Yeah, there's some wisdom in that. King CMC TV says, hey, Roberto, I see what you're talking about all the time in gaming, and I play games. Let's play games. You are telling the truth. Yep, thank you. Clovertax says the creators listening now already have a leg up. Most creators invest zero time in actually trying to learn things related to content creation. Yep, there's truth in that. There's absolute truth in that. Clovertax says, seems you've tried to maximize what you can get from the audience you have at the time rather than trying to grow huge. My approach is very similar. Yeah, a lot of times people keep thinking of what they don't have versus what they have, and they don't make the most of what they have. I feel that going deeper with my community, look, think about it like this. What's more useful? A mile wide and 3 feet deep, or 3 feet deep and a mile down? Sorry, 3 feet wide and a mile deep. Here's the thing. A pond that's a mile wide but is shallow and it's only 3 feet deep, not really a great water source if we really think about it. It's not a great water source. You don't really want to pull from that water source. But if you had a well that's 3 feet wide but a mile deep, like, oh, you can do something with that. You can do something with that. So it's a better water source to pull from by far. Larry Snow says, hey, Roberto, just an FYI, I was looking at my analytics, and the research tab is now the inspiration tab. I'm interested in if and you have any use for this tab of research / inspiration. I've seen that. I disagree with the branding around that. I have a few disagreements with some of the things I feel YouTube has been doing, and I feel like the so-called inspiration tab should have just been kept the research tab. I think that it's that they're trying to really brand this AI tool that they're doing a lot, and I think it should have just been called the research tab. I really feel like it should have just been called the research tab. I feel like they need to roll that back. They're not going to, but they need to reel that back. I think it's okay for ideation. I think it can be okay for ideation. And what creators will like about it is it's a free ideation tool. It's a free ideation tool. So for creators who don't want to supplement with other tools, having that natively in YouTube is going to be good for them. So they're going to like it. Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate you. The Salon Guy with a $10 super chat says, Roberto, I'm already getting slack from my subs on AI content. What are the YouTube AI guidelines? Thanks again, man. Okay, so one, YouTube's guidelines are going to require you to label any content as being AI, using AI at all. I think I can get to that here for us to see it. I think there's a way for me to get to that. So let's see. So there's like a disclosure thing. Oh yeah, altered content. Do any of the following. So this is altered content. This is the AI content label. So this AI content label is this altered content label disclosure, where you would, like in my case, you would select no. And so it says specifically for this, to follow YouTube's policy, you're required to tell us if your content is altered or synthetic or seems real. This includes realistic sounds or visuals made with AI tools. By selecting yes, adds the label to your content. So for me, I'm going to click no because I did green screen. So I did this stuff manually and it wasn't, you know, fully AI or nothing like that. I wasn't using any of what they refer to as AI tools. It's just good old video editors. And the thing is, I think that they're really too vague on these guidelines, to be honest, for the way that it is now. And there's a learn more with regard to the policy. So the policy is altered or synthetic content, and it's really focused primarily on voice cloning and deep fake like footage is what they really care about, probably because of the elections, probably because of that stuff. So that's what they're really worried about for the most part. And they use examples here to say what does and doesn't require disclosure. So ironically, beauty filters, catfishing doesn't require disclosure. Synthetically or extending a backdrop to simulate a moving vehicle doesn't require disclosure. Using effects to enhance previous recorded audio like I do, that doesn't. AI animation of like a rocket in a video doesn't, like, because it's fantastical, let's say. So digitally generate altering content to replace the face of one individual with another. So deep fakes. Digitally altering a famous car chase scene to include a celebrity who wasn't in the original movie. So again, deep fakes. Simulating audio to make it sound as if a medical professional gave advice when a professional did not actually give that advice. So deep fake audio, you know, voice synthesizing. Showing a realistic depiction of a missile heading toward a real city. So that is kind of the examples that they're using, just to be clear. And if you use YouTube's Dream Screen and Dream Track, I believe you don't have to do any additional steps, and it will automatically disclose the use of AI. So we're just getting into a world where you're just going to have to be, you have to take a lot of the same transparency steps on AI that you would be taking on doing sponsored content. So you could think of it in a similar way. You could think of it as a much similar thing. I'll probably do a video about YouTube's AI policy because a lot of my best videos have been videos that explain YouTube's policies. Stock says, for channels that only make search-based evergreen tech content, would you recommend turning off notify subs for each video upload since most won't be a target audience? I would try it for a couple of videos and see how it goes. Yep. Everybody is saying, by the way, for the search thing that I asked you guys to do in Google, I'm #1 or #2 in the results, according to everybody. So #1 or #2. And I told you I'd be in the top 5. Yep. Top 5 on all 3 search terms. So yeah, when I told you guys that if you search for in Google, how many YouTube channels have 1 million subscribers? How many YouTube channels have 100K subscribers? How many YouTube channels have 10 million subscribers? I told y'all I would always rank in the top 5 for those queries. And the proof's in the pudding. You guys saw it for yourself and you see it here. So yeah, stop stressing out about SEO scores from vidIQ and TubeBuddy. That's not really the goal, in my opinion. I care a lot more about the rankings. And I use that for authority. Andrew Can in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Synthestar says, hey, Roberto, is the opposite true, bad if true? About 80% of my views come from suggested browse where I'm sitting for my gaming channel. For an entertainment channel, that's not bad at all. You don't need to be focused on search for a gaming channel. If you're not doing gaming strategy guides, then I wouldn't worry about it. Yep, search can also lead to suggest in browse, but rarely does it work the other way. I couldn't agree more. Key Sporting News, $5 super chat. Thanks for the content, Roberto. I went from 0 videos and subscribers a month ago to 270 subscribers and 84 videos. You have been a huge help, learning a lot. Thank you. You're almost to your first 100 videos. So congrats on that. First 100 videos is the hardest. First 100 subs, first 1,000 subs, typically the hardest. So yeah. Andrew Can says, hey, if you're enjoying the stream, consider leaving a like. Yeah, absolutely smash the like button for every single algorithm out there. We don't make as much algorithm targeted content, so we need all the help we can get. What about other platforms that don't let you schedule? Which platforms don't let you schedule? Because I believe most of them do. YouTube does. Technically, Twitter can schedule post. Instagram can schedule post now. LinkedIn can schedule post. What platforms don't let you schedule? Curious. Textual Chatter says, hey, Roberto, really enjoy your tips, man. I'm using your tips, hopefully reach 50K subs by the end of the year. Hey, keep pushing, man. Rooting for you. Thank you so much for the $19.99 super chat. Yeah. If you have a goal like that, again, a tip for anyone who has a specific goal like that is if you've already gotten subscribers in the past, look at your lifetime views, go into the analytics like I do, find what got you the most subscribers, then figure out how you can make a sequel or a series to that content and make more content that attracts and gains similar audience, and then convert those people to high subscribers. So making multiple high subscriber videos is the key to growth. And you can use your analytics to do that. So this is a great question. So Sinistar742 says, hey, Roberto, I have a new gaming channel. I'm consistently getting about 3 times the views on my videos as I have subscribers. Well, congratulations. That's a big deal. How do I start converting those views to subs? Okay, so what turns viewers into subscribers is, aside from a consistent value proposition, is 1, you won't win them over if the audio and editing is not on par. So the thing is, you need to look at your competitors that are succeeding, that have the subscriber goal that you want. And then you have to think about, why did someone subscribe to their channel? So there are a couple of reasons people subscribe to your channel. 1, if you're getting all those views, One thing that can increase your subscribers is replying to every single comment in some way. And that's rough, but if you do it and you reply to every single comment all the time, that is your best opportunity to turn casual viewers who at least had the courage to comment into subscribers and supporters, because you might be the only YouTuber who ever replied to them. It's a big deal. It goes a longer way than you think. So that's a big deal. That could help you a lot. If you replied to a bunch of comments every single day, and every day you turn 30 of those people into new subscribers, that's another 1,000 new subscribers a month you didn't have. At the end of the year, that's another 12,000 subscribers for you. So replying to comments is one of the best things you can do to turn a viewer into a subscriber. Another thing that could get you more subscribers, if you got a gaming channel that's successful, consider doing live streaming, and then the people in your community might become subscribers as a result of the live streams. Nothing brings a community together like live streaming. And so that can be really helpful. Also, while you're streaming, you could be farming footage for the game, and you could be upping your skill level while spending time with your community and your chat. So that's a big deal. Another thing is for subscribers, if you can create scenarios where they binge watch, then that leads to subscribers as well. So you're getting views, but are you creating binge watching habits? Are those returning viewers? Are they some of the same people? And so, yeah, but if you're doing that, if you just keep going, the subscribers will come. Joe's phenomenal. Hey, Roberto, stoked to see you over at Vid Summit this year. Yeah, me and Nick Nimmin will be speaking at Vid Summit this year together on stage, talking about monetization. CloverTax says, hey, Roberto, since you're bringing this up, I make around 2K on average just with Amazon affiliate with less than 20,000 subscribers, but it's not 100% tied to YouTube channels either. Well, congratulations to CloverTax, and that's a big deal. That's like rent money for a lot of people, and he's doing it with less than 20K subs, and that's rent money, and that's with Amazon. So good job. That is top tier, my friend. So inspiring. That's something more creators should look at. So, our buddy World According to Briggs, $20 super chat. I have shut down 4 channels cloning my voice. Yeah, the voice cloning and impersonating other YouTubers is going to be a thing. But YouTube, I think when you get in touch with YouTube support, it's like they're very good about this thing and understanding. So, yeah, we just have to go after those people. And I think that that's probably one of the best ways to handle it. And yeah, you could probably straight up copyright claim people who are using AI clones of your voice. Absolutely. Yes. D. Paul, hey, what's up, bro? What's a good video editing software that's kid-friendly for my 7-year-old daughter that is wanting to learn how to edit her own content? I'll also see you on Coffee Talk tomorrow. Okay, so for young people, there are 2 options for video editing that they'll be able to learn on your own. 7 is... but your kid's probably smart like you, so she probably handle it. 7 years old, I would say iMovie or CapCut. iMovie or CapCut is probably the easiest thing for someone that age to learn. So for a 7-year-old daughter, based on the ability of video game skill level, iMovie most likely. Beyond that, CapCut. Andrew Can says, years ago before AI conversation picked up, a brand tried to own the rights to my likeness forever, and I said no. Be careful with AI in that way. Yep, be careful. Read the terms of service for any and all AI tools. Colorful Tales says, question, Roberto, I got a copyright claim on a short for music, but the music I used was directly from the Shorts library. I thought music in Shorts library was fair game. What can I do about this? Appeal the claim and reach out to YouTube via the chat support like I showed earlier in the stream. And yeah. Liberty Twitcher says, how did I learn all this stuff? So I've been on the internet since I was 13 and I'm 40 now. So that's a long time of investment in learning the technical aspects of everything. I learned camera stuff from anyone who would teach me. I learned camera stuff from my parents who did it as a hobby. I learned camera stuff from people in the church. I read books. The internet didn't have online videos yet, so I learned mostly a lot from books all the way up until my 20s, because YouTube wasn't invented into my 20s. So I had to learn from books, take classes in community college, learn hands-on, work for some freelance photographers, work for people in the church who had a wedding business, learned a lot about cameras, learned a lot about hardware, learned on the job for marketing and things like that. Only went to community college and took classes for marketing, advertising, graphic design, was passionate in doing it before I even went to college, before I even graduated high school, helped build the school's website. So I taught myself to code from a book, believe it or not. 13 years old, 14 years old, I taught myself how to code from a book. So I learned HTML from a book, learned JavaScript on, what was it, webmonkey.com. I learned HTML and JavaScript on webmonkey.com earlier, which was owned by Yahoo at the time. This is before Google existed. I was doing this before Google existed, let alone YouTube. So I've just been doing everything a long time, super curious and passionate. You can tell I got a bookshelf behind me. It ain't for decoration. I've got a library in my basement with 1,000 books, and I've read them all. Well, most of them anyway, 80 to 90% of them, because I did buy new books and I bought reference books. So that plays a role. I learned from anyone willing to teach me, and all I consume is, almost with very few exceptions, all I consume is educational content, and it's always been that way. The portion of education to entertainment I consume is 80% education, 20% entertainment, and I've always been that way. So that puts me in this position, and then I practice the things I actually learn. I learn something, I go ahead and try to do it. So trial and error. I've just been doing a lot of things for a long time, and I read a lot of things, and I work on a lot of things. I've mastered to the level of competency almost every single of the major Adobe product suite tools. I'm competent in them. Back in the day, I had certifications for these tools. That's how I made a living as a freelancer. I was good at these tools. People with money didn't have the time to learn the software. I did. So I made hundreds, thousands of dollars doing tasks for them, passed on that knowledge, learned more about that in the process. Trial and error. I learned everything about YouTube. How did I learn everything about YouTube? I've made 2,000 videos on this platform. I've made 1,600 videos for this channel, and I edited all of them. I edited 99% of my own content. So I did that. That you learn a lot. You make 2,000 videos and you edit them for 11 years. You learn a lot. So I did that. Experience gained by practitionership, investigation, intellectual curiosity, learning from others, watching and observing, going to in-person workshops. I wanted to be better at photography and lighting, and I went to Shutterfest in St. Louis, Missouri. I go out to Sal Sincata's event every couple of years when I want to bone up and when I want to also get some shots. I go to Shutterfest at Sal Sincata's event. It's like $300 for a weekend workshop on video, photo, and lighting. I mostly stick to the lighting and photography stuff because I want to improve there. I mostly got it when it comes to video. And as a result of doing those in-person workshops for there, I became much better at lighting and a better understanding of it. Flash photography, off-camera flash, a lot of different things. That was tremendously helpful. Going to B&H photo events whenever I'm in New York and they do anything, I go to these workshops and I learn from some of the best camera experts in the world about the technology and learn how to think about shots and composition differently, planning trips, doing things. So I learn by doing hands-on things in the field and not being too humble, or sorry, not too arrogant to humble myself and learn from masters and practitioners of the craft. There have been people who have been using cameras longer than I've been alive, and I still learn from them. So I go out and I do that. And so that's incredibly helpful. I've invested a lot of energy in my education. College isn't the only way. One of the best things you can do besides going to college is go in the real world and find hands-on physical workshops, practical skills, find communities, join organizations, professional organizations. I'm a proud member of the Professional Photographers of America, PPA, Professional Photographers of America. Back in the day, I was a subscriber to Advanced Photoshop and Photoshop Magazine. I got it in the mail every single month without fail. Also, I think VFX magazine as well. And what I do, I broke out the CDs. I did the tutorials every month. I got a new magazine and I would do all the tutorials, use all the stock photo assets they licensed me, and learn all the techniques that I could every single month. So I had something really practical from the greatest visual artist in the world to learn from every single month. And I was doing that. And I was a big fan, still a big fan of, you know, of what Kramer does from Video Copilot. So Andrew Kramer from Video Copilot, he did some of the best initial VFX tutorials in early YouTube, way back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I'm talking like 2005, 2008. So Video Copilot, he did some of the best tutorials in the world. He built some plugins and stuff for After Effects for rotoscoping and for doing composite mats. And so I've supported him. I saved up money. I bought a lot of his stuff. It was killing my $600 laptop at the time, but I did it anyway. And I learned visual effects very early on by taking the time and investing the money and saying, okay, these tutorials are worth it. I would still buy books. I still bought books on learning video effects and things like that, even though people think it's wildly impractical to learn something like software from a book. I wanted to understand how people communicated this information through technical writing. And I felt that memorizing and absorbing it that way and then putting it into action, learning the principles. I still think that book learning is underestimated. I think that a lot of people ignore book learning in favor of audio and video. And I think there's a lot of ways to learn. I use the 7 learning methods and say, if I'm going to learn something, I'll read about it. I'll do audio visual. I'll go and have a hands-on demonstration from somebody about it. I'll practice it myself. I'll talk to other people about it. I will look at visual diagrams that illustrate the concepts. That's number 6. And I will then also try to teach what I've learned and observed from the process and from my own practice. And those are the 7 learning models. And if you want to master something, you don't just do 1 or 2 or 3 of them. You go through all 7 learning models to understand that, to know that you have a comprehensive understanding of whatever it is you're doing. So that's how I teach myself anything, because I'm an autodidactic learner. So long-winded answer, but how did I learn all this stuff? That's how I learned all this stuff. Hand Over Fist says, Mr. Ballin is a true crime and mysteries channel that gets over 1 million views a day. Yeah, that's a good example. That's why I said if I were going to do a faceless channel, true crime would be a really good one. Living Dynasty says, hey, Roberto, first time making it to a live. I'm curious about having a faceless channel, and I'm excited about you doing a live just for that topic. Yep, we'll definitely do one. Lowertax says, most channels never see even 1,000 subscribers. What does that tell us? Junk content. Yep. Andrew Can says, if the world isn't oversaturated, YouTube isn't. Indeed, it really isn't. And the thing is, quality matters there too. And I don't believe that the world is oversaturated or overpopulated. I really don't. There's a problem with density in areas for sure. There's a population density issue. That's a different issue. And that also is a problem with the consolidation of resources. It's the same problem with social media. It's that, all right, most content is low-hanging fruit, and therefore rightfully more content consolidates at the top. But if more people create value on the platforms, create really great, tremendous value, if people create tremendous value on the platform more consistently and a higher quality experience for their audience, then the diversification will happen and more people will spread out. And that's, to a degree, in a way, that's happening with the up-and-coming creators. And that's why the number of creators with silver play buttons is increasing, but it's not saturated yet. It's not close. Andrew Can says, YouTube itself has said that transcript is more important than other metadata because that's how they verify the title and the content match and what topics it is a category for, and that it's not clickbait, but click worthy. Yup. I couldn't agree more. Andrew Can, our buddy, formerly from Tubebuddy, now his own independent content creator, 13K on his own channel. Congratulations again, Andrew. And 90% of creators never get to 10K, so 13K is a big deal, does deserve a round of applause and some acknowledgement. If I had my way, there'd be bronze play buttons. Yep, there's always room for you in a niche if you're making good content that people want to watch. Yep, there's no embarrassment of riches, I promise you. There's always room for quality and value. There's always room for tremendous quality, tremendous value, and a consistency of uploads that makes people feel like they have a reliable community to be a part of. Yeah, even with the Salon Guy has 1 million subscribers. And Salon Guy, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that there was a point where you were even featured on Jared Poland's channel, Frono's Photo. Even with 1 million subscribers, one, there's always something to learn. I've had clients with 1 million subscribers. And then number two, there's always ups and downs. It's just going to be that way. There's always going to be ups and downs when it comes to content. And that's because there's going to be differences in audiences' views and attentions and what they're prioritizing at the time. Colorful Tale says, Roberto, that was motivational response. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. Like sometimes you just need to hear it and hear that the reality of YouTube is what it is. Yes, I'm way behind on the chat, Clover Tack. I'm like about 30 minutes behind, but I'm catching up. I did cover how to turn those viewers into subscribers for a gaming channel. Walu, oh, this is a great story. So Walu says, hey, Roberto, I watched your Photoshop tutorials when I was 14. Now I'm 23 and I have my own marketing agency and a full-time job as a social media manager and website developer. You are the reason I found my passion in life. I live for these. Thank you. I'm screenshotting that. I live for this kind of comment. This kind of comment absolutely makes my day. This is the kind of thing that still makes me get up in the morning and do this. I still get up in the morning and do this because of people like Walu. Thank you, man, for sticking around for all of these years. You've been 9 years and you've like got this great story from my community. And so thank you for that. That made my night. El Rinco says, hey, Roberto, I really appreciate your content. Decided to take a swing at YouTube. I'm happy with how things have been going. I wanted to ask how much of what you teach you think applies to a Latin American market Spanish-speaking channel. Fundamental principles apply. There are niche things specific to your market. I've helped a sports creator in that market before. I've helped a couple of gaming channels that were non-English speaking, believe it or not. Mostly mobile gamers in like Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, that sort of thing, Brawl Stars, that sort of thing. The thing that I would say is the fundamental principles of everything I'm talking about apply no matter what. So the principles around reach, reputation, and revenue apply because they're based in human behavior. The difference between the way I do advice is I don't sit there hunting the algorithm. I'm looking at human behavior and psychology, marketing trends, underlying business principles, and then also pattern recognition in general. And then also what the fundamentals of the underlying technology that we're using in social media dictates and what the quirks are there. I'm not really chasing algorithms. And therefore, that's part of why my stuff also will not be vastly outdated, is because I'm using human behavior, psychology, business principles, and general ways to analyze markets. And then I'm distilling it down to how that specifically applies to content platforms and the nature of content creators. That's why it's going to be consistent and sometimes will sound repetitive. And it's not that there's never any new insight to offer. It's that most people's problems will always be the same. So the thing is, there are always new insights, but most of them don't apply to most people. Most of them would apply to a very minimal amount of the market because majority of the market still hasn't fixed their fundamentals. Majority of people still haven't broken to 10,000 subscribers. Any advanced knowledge that I can give people wouldn't serve them because it's not useful until you've gotten to 50,000, 100,000 subscribers to have even intermediate knowledge for the most part. Most people's basics are still broken, and that's why they can't break through 10K. So the thing is, if you get through 10K, you beat 90% of the market right then and there. 90% of your competition is gone if you get 10,000 subscribers. If you get to 100,000 subscribers, you're in the 1% anyway. You're in the 1%. You may not feel like it, but you are. So then the problem is adjusting for why you don't feel like it. And there's things that we do there. But even then, I help creators with that. People who have over 1 million, they're in the 0.1%. And so at that point, they have very unique problems, but they still exist. And there's still only a few people that can help them there. And I do have knowledge of that because their problems at 1 million. Wait, what can you do and help for someone who's 1 million subscribers? You don't have 1 million subscribers. It's very simple. The person at 1 million subscribers, their big problem at that point is if they're still a solo creator, they're overwhelmed and they don't know how to hire. They don't know how to outsource a lot of the time. They still haven't built the business side because they've been so hustle on the audience side. And they might be overly dependent on ad revenue and have anxiety around that. And there might be underlying issues. They even have 1 million subscribers that they don't know on the back end of YouTube, and they don't know how to ask for help from YouTube support in the right ways. So they might have 1 million subscribers, but they may not be willing to tell their audience that, hey, I have all these copyright issues on my channel and I have no idea what to do. And I'm afraid to tell my audience because I don't want to look like a failure. Like a lot of them will have that problem. They'll be like, hey, Roberto, I have 1 million subscribers and I don't think my management is being straight with me about my brand deals and my contracts. And I'm in a bad contract and I want to get out of it. And do I need to hire a lawyer? What can I do? Like there's very specific questions that people with 1 million subscribers have. Roberto, I had this editor and they're not working out. And I didn't make them sign an NDA. And I think that they're going to go and take all my stuff to my competitors. And I did a handshake deal. We don't have a formal contract. And what do I do next? And also, how do I replace them when they're gone? What do I need to do? There's all kinds of issues that people at 1 million subscribers have that you would be surprised about in many cases that are much more specific to the issues of running a business as a solo entrepreneur, a one-person business, something I have a lot of experience with because I was a full-time freelancer before I was a creator. So I have a lot of experience with this. A lot of them don't know how to hire freelancers properly. They don't know how to give them a proper market rate. They don't know what the scope of work is. They don't know how to communicate things. They don't know how to manage a team. They don't know what systems to put in place for this. It's a lot. They don't know how to set up their HR portal in Gusto. There's a lot of unique problems that people with 1 million subscribers have. And there's unique problems that people with 100,000 to 500,000 subscribers have. Most of y'all, though, will not have those problems for a good long while. Most of the fundamentals, and this is why YouTube help content feels repetitive, is most people, 90% of creators, don't have 10,000 subscribers. They are not ready for the big boy and big girl conversations that come later down the road around a lot of the things I just mentioned. It would not be pertinent to them. Even deep algorithmic discussion wouldn't be pertinent to them. They still need to get the fundamentals right. So, I mean, that's kind of a thing that a lot of people take for granted. A lot of people also think that their niche is what's holding them back, or that they need specific information around their niche, when a lot of times they still just need to get the fundamentals right before they look into the particulars of their niche. Yep. Yeah, geology, dude, you're the expert. I'm just making I'm making an analogy. It was a metaphor. It was a metaphor for content. It's a metaphor for content. We're referring to the well. It wasn't a good analogy. But I think people understand where I was going. It's not the best analogy. There is some things I do know about geology, but I would end up generalizing. I actually got a pretty decent grade in earth science as a kid, but It's not something I've kept up with. So you would be the expert, not me. Happy to defer to you there. But the reality is that it may have been a poor analogy, but I will say this. For most content creators, they need to really balance depth versus width. And a lot of people are going way too wide and not deep enough. They're going so much for a broad audience that they're not going deeper with the audience they have and realizing that that'd probably be the best thing they could do in building, because the depth of that relationship will scale, because an audience that's in love with you like that, they'll be your street team. They'll go ahead and recruit. You have 1,000 true fans. I'll tell you a secret to getting 100,000 subscribers. You ready? Tell you a secret to getting 100,000 subscribers. If you have 1,000 diehard true fans and you get to the point to where 1,000 people are showing up for you on every single video, if you treat them right and you treat them well and you tell them that you have a goal and you have a dream and that you want to get to 100,000 subscribers, they'll go out and recruit 10 people and 10 of their friends and get 10 people to subscribe. They'll build that up. It might take a minute, but they'll get you to 10,000. Those 10,000, if you treat them right, they'll go out and get their friends. You'll get 100,000. It's the best thing you could do. The best thing you could do is figure out how to build 1,000 true fans, treat them right, and they'll go get 10 of their friends if you ask them to. You say, I have a goal. If I've given you value, if you appreciate what I'm doing, go and tell 10 people that you know will actually care about what we're doing here and about all the value that you got. In fact, I would challenge you guys here in the live stream. I'll challenge everyone on a live stream. Tell you what, if I've ever given you value, and you're watching the stream right now, you're one of the 966 people across the 6 platforms that are watching right now. If I've ever given you value, do me a favor. Before the end of this year, I would love for you to bring 100 people to this community that you know want to be content creators, want to take it seriously. Before the end of the year, bring 100 people into this community, get them to commit with a subscribe button. They don't have to super chat. They don't have to buy anything. All they have to do is subscribe, support, and keep showing up and keep showing up. And I want them to chat and tell me who brought them here and what they feel they're getting out of it. That's my ask. That's my ask. They don't have to buy anything. You don't have to buy anything. Before the end of the year, bring 100 people into this community. I want to make a point that anybody can grow purely off of treating their people right, doing deep value creation, and then asking to say, hey, share the value with other people, please. Bring other people in. That's all you'd have to do. If you can accomplish that, then everything else is achievable from that. Everything starts with the capacity for deep value creation. Noctolin's Campfire says, hey, Roberto, question. How can you do affiliate marketing with shorts? I don't have links. Is it mainly done in long-form videos? Now, it has to be done in long-form videos because YouTube changed the policy. I did a video where they nixed the links on shorts. Your only other workaround would be if you're willing to put a QR code edited into your videos. But you can only do it on the new videos. You can't retroactively do it. So that's your only other option with affiliate marketing. The other option is using, if you qualify for YouTube Shopping's affiliate links with tagged products, is your only other affiliate marketing option for YouTube Shorts. Let's see, still 20 minutes behind on the chat, but catching up. Ray Franklin says, hey, Roberto, what's up? Been a long time. Hope you're doing well. Are you still using Adobe Suite? Yes, I am. Still using Adobe Suite. Yep, Shutterfest is awesome. Drag Digital with a €5 super chat. Says, hey, Roberto, I started watching you at 14. Oh, yeah, this is the same creator. Started watching you at 14, now 23. Learned Photoshop from your videos. Since then, I've had a career in marketing and have a full-time job marketing. Oh, wait, no, this is yeah, this might be the same guy. Hey, reach out to me on x.com, formerly Twitter, if you want to talk. Mommy says, replying to all the comments has really built my tiny community. Yep. Yeah, CleverTax says, I get bigger channels in my niche all the time asking me how to do XYZ. And my initial thought was, how on earth did you get that many subs not knowing that subs are not everything, folks? Yeah, it does. It makes a clear illustration of that. Trust me. I've had people with 4 million subscribers not know how to do things. And that was things on the back end of their channel. There's just a lot to learn, to be honest with you. Dr. Orion says, hey, Roberto, are there any good thumbnail designers on Fiverr? Yeah, there are good thumbnail designers on Fiverr. I think that the best place to find thumbnail designers is recommendations in x.com, formerly Twitter, from people that are actively posting their client work. I think that that is actually a great way to find people. So yeah, it makes sense. Something to analyze says, question, I do documentaries in Spanish, Mexican soccer league. Should I do it in English? Soccer is growing in like America, you know, where Americans are getting into real football and footballers now. So there is potential there. I think there's potential there. I don't think there's a downside in trying it if it doesn't derail what you're doing on the main channel. Let's see. Just making sure I got all the super chats, and I think I did. Yep. World according to Briggs, DePaul, Textual Chatter, Key Sporting News. Yep. The Salon Guy. Yep. Clover Tack. Moxie, JT Collins, Avedon, Ernest Khan, Lois Lenora. Yep. Yeah, we got all of the super chats done. Let's see. So yeah, I think I caught up on most of it. Faye Lynn from DreamCon says, thank you so much. I've learned a lot from you with this month, starting with CEX. Yep, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let's see. I think I'm caught up. Yep, I see. Also, thank you to anyone who during the stream joined the pro group. It looks like we had 2 people join the pro group, and it looks like, yeah, John scheduled a coaching session, so that's dope. Appreciate y'all. Something to analyze says, question, if I use the same video from my channel and add the English audio versus the Spanish, will there be other issues with YouTube? In my experience from looking at my Roberto and Espanol channel, which I'm working on launching using Daryl Eves AI dubbing with Ditto dubbing, which should be linked in the description if you guys want to look into that. I do not believe it will be a problem from my experience with that with dubbing. If it's in a different language, I don't think it'll be a problem. So I think you will be okay. And according to Doug Houston, you should be okay as well. Thank you, Doug, for that. So audio, and you're saying audio dubbing would be the exception. We'll need more details on that, Doug, if you have them later at some point. So definitely interested in that. But again, thank you to everybody who showed up to the stream. I think at 3 hours and 7 minutes, we definitely have to close it out. Thank you to our sponsors, Streamyard, for helping us stream across multiple platforms, simplest solution streaming. Sign up for free with a link in the description. Same for our good friends at OpusClip for repurposing. perfect repurposing with AI tools and AI video editing for clipping and curating. You can clip everything now. So OpusClip, make sure you guys are checking it out. Free trial in the description down below. Shout out to our friends at Kajabi for helping us build courses, communities, cohorts, and more. Check them out. Free trial linked in the description down below. So thank you to our sponsors. If you haven't checked out my book, Create Something Awesome, How Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy, it's on Amazon. It's not on pre-order. I need to change my graphic. You can buy it. It's not pre-order. You can buy it. It's been out for 2 years now. Amazon bestseller. So appreciate you guys. In fact, we're going to end today's stream with closing out with my book trailer. Other than that, stay awesome. And I will catch you guys. I think we'll be doing a workshop Wednesday. I'm not sure what our workshop Wednesday will be. Maybe it'll be building your email list because I talk about it so much. So make sure you stay tuned. And we probably still will do a feedback Friday. I believe I'm traveling next Monday, so we'll see if we do next Monday. But other than that, stay awesome, and I'll catch you next time. I finally did it. I finished my book, Create Something Awesome, How Content Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy. The book is available now in paperback and in Kindle, where you can read it on any e-reader or device. And I'm really excited about this. The audiobook is coming soon, probably October 2022. Oh my God, it's so great to be able to have this book done, put it up on the bookshelf, and to know that all of you who appreciate it, you want to hear what I have to say about the creator economy, becoming a full-time content creator, and what the experience and lifestyle of being a content creator actually is like. This is the book. I put 20 chapters in here of the most important things I think that content creators could be focusing on today. I talk about the mental health aspect of being a content creator, getting discouraged, imposter syndrome, not charging what you're worth, and mostly actionable advice around monetizing your content properly, but also how to build an audience on your authenticity and what it's really like to start from zero, even today. So if you're interested, make sure you're checking out the book. You can order it on Amazon. You also probably order it in a lot of other places like Barnes & Noble, and it will be coming to other bookstores soon. Really excited about it. Thank you for all the support and love around the book and the positive reviews. Now go ahead and pick it up and make sure you go out there and create something awesome today. Take care.